Well, hi everyone. How's it going? It's time for stream. Good gracious. It's Sunday, and that means that it's time for my cat to scream from the other side of the house apparently. Um I have done my best to fix the audio issue, and actually I can see it's a little bit low right now, so I'm going to boost it back up because uh I know that I'm not going to be projecting as much today because of the fact that my body hurts. So let me just double check something. Okay, so I understand now why the thing is so quiet all the time, and I'm sorry if I just blew out everybody's eardrums. But apparently, uh basically every time my computer boots up, it automatically sets my microphone audio. Oh, thank you. One second. It automatically sets my microphone volume at 35%. So y'all have been correct that my microphone has been quiet. And apparently the reason is because Windows, it does not have a way for me to like save that setting either. So it seems as though like just every time I boot up my computer, if I need to use my microphone, I'm gonna have to double check this setting. So hopefully y'all are feeling like you can hear me today and that the difference between me and the ads is not going to be as dramatic. I'm doing my best. But I just, it was a simple thing, but also something that was not obvious. So now I've addressed it, and I hope that it chills the hell out. Anyway, great. Hi, Jom. It's so interesting because I know you were in here before, but it's still giving you the little "I'm a new person here" icon on my end. Um, there's not very many people in the website chat right now, are there? Anyway, thank you, Leela Uraraka, for the $10. Hey, hey, it is my 25th birthday today. Happy Borf. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. 25 is fun. I was like, I turned a quarter of a century old, you know? It was fun. Oh gosh, why is I'm gonna move stuff around a little bit. If you're just coming in, if you've not yet hit the like button, it's quick, it's easy, it's free. It's a great way to support the show. You can help me buy chocolate for myself, which that's the thing that people do when they're having period cramps, right? That's what's happening to me. So actually, it started last night. I was like, I think that I might be having some really weird gas or like intestinal distress because I'm on a form of birth control that's supposed to let you not deal with this for like 3 years. And I mostly don't have to deal with this, so it is coming as a big surprise that like last night I went to bed and it was the last thing I remember thinking about last night that I was like in pain, uh, and I was just trying to ignore it and fall asleep. And then I fell asleep, and it was the first thing I had thought about when I woke up this morning. I was like, oh, that is still happening. So apparently that was just all night for me. No wonder I'm like tired. Didn't want to put on makeup or anything today. I also like really, really rubbed my eyes the other night, I think by accident. And so there's all this like really irritated skin around my eyes. Anyway, Leela, let me go ahead and add your $10 donation to our stream goal. Our goal for today's stream is to get to $100, and if we do, I will open up the treasure chest. Bwa-na-na-na-na-na-na. It's special, and we will find out what's in there. Treasure chest. We might not get to the goal today because I might not be on here for very long. I haven't yet decided how long I'm going to stream because I also have to do production this evening with the line. So today is my work two jobs day. It's my Monday. Like my Monday is like I start my stream in the morning, and then I have like an hour and a half break. If I go for the full 4 hours, then I have about an hour and a half break between that ending and then when I have to start getting the evening show ready for the line. Oh no. Melanie says, I just got home from a 10-day vacation in Austria. I am tired, sore, and also sick AF. Yeah, I am not surprised. I think that a lot of people are just traveling and not really thinking about the fact that COVID is still actively circulating and harming people. So folks mostly don't mask when they travel. So then, yeah, you're getting into, like, even if you personally mask, you're still getting into a plane or a train car with, like, people who don't give a shit about whether they kill you. So, yeah, I'm not surprised to hear you're sick, but I do hope you get better soon. Get tested for COVID just in case so that you can get Paxlovid and reduce your severity of your illness. You know, that's still important. I hope you had a good time while you were there at least, but, you know, and, like, hope that it was worth it or whatever. Naomi, is Naomi alone on my website, chat? That's so sad. Come on now. The more you hit the like button, the more people will come in here, by the way. That's literally how it works. Whenever we get like 3 or 4 likes, we end up getting like a couple viewers within the next couple minutes. It seems to directly work like that. Hello, Gayfesh. How are you? I'm like, I guess you're one of the people who I do talk to on a regular basis with my actual human voice, and it's just been a little while because we haven't recorded the podcast in a couple of weeks. I went to go watch Hereditary and it didn't want to load, but I'll get back to it when we're closer to recording the episode, probably. Producing for Forrest and Justin tonight, presumably. I knew I knew that Forrest was going to be on. Forrest is the one that I'm watching to see whether he's on, because I know that those shows can go a little long. So I'm sitting there planning how can I, plan? Because here's my thing. I cook like 5 nights a week. I cook 4 nights a week. My younger sibling cooks 2 nights a week. And then we have 1 night a week that's just like, fend for yourself. I don't give a fuck. And so the nights that I do, when I do Sunday after dark, I don't cook on Sundays. Like, that's already been the case because that's my stream day. I just don't cook on Sundays. So, but then Monday, I have Skep Talk, and if Forrest is on there, I might have to go long, which means that I might have to change like which day of the week is my fend for yourself night, or I have to change what I decide to cook that night. So my partner was like, I've been craving pizza. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'll fucking just like Monday. So like tomorrow, probably morning, I'll just place a preemptive order to the pizza place and be like, schedule it for pickup or for delivery at a certain time, and just have pizza delivered like while I'm streaming, because I don't have any fucking idea how long it's going to go. So I paid attention. I was like, I know Forrest is going to be on tonight because Minute Rice says, if you're ever scheduled to produce for a Forrest and Erica team up episode, clear your whole night. Those two can literally go all night. I've heard. But I've also heard that it's been something people have complained about. So it's one of those, like, we're going to have to discuss it beforehand kind of things. And I don't mind so long as I know beforehand. And then, like I said, I can make a plan, like having Monday night be pizza night or something. Later, Leela. Have a good night. Glamour Claw, I saw earlier you said you've been sleeping in since 8 a.m. That's nice. Heck yeah. So aside from my organs trying to kill me, what else is going on with people? I feel like the news kind of slowed down this week somewhat. Or maybe I just did. I feel like I just tried to spend some more time on like my goofy Instagram account and not on horrible news websites. But even then, if a bad enough news happens, I guess like Trump said that he was going to send the military to Portland, right? So we're going to see how that's going to shake down like tomorrow, I guess. We'll find out tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. I don't care if they do that, but I imagine whoever is producer is like, please kill me. It's just, we need to discuss it beforehand, you know? If I'm going in expecting like a 3-hour episode and we end up staying for like, even if we're going to stay for like 4 hours, I feel like I need to know that beforehand, because maybe I need to like change my plans for the beginning of the day so that I have the energy to be on that late. Or, I'll sleep in the morning or something. But it is what it is. I kind of wonder if, like a teacher, Jimmy is just gonna separate Forrest and Erica, or make it like a special once a month event. Make them do it on a Saturday afternoon or something, so that it's earlier in the day. Cashed out my 403b, so I'll actually have a couple thousand in my account soon. Hell yes. Oh man, that's something that I'm really looking forward to. Is like, um, new job, getting paid more. You know, like I'm still making regular appearances on Takis, so I'm basically going to be making my Takis money on top of everything else. And then like I still have the option. Well, I don't have as much flexibility to be on other shows if I'm going to be producing at the same time, especially because they were like, for now, we're probably not going to have you stream and produce at the same time. Oh my god, I'm picking at a zit. I can feel on my face. Dapper Tamarin's been working on a research for a documentary. Oh, hey, nice. That's cool. What is the documentary about? I think Jimmy's already doing that more often than not. It's rare the two of them appear together, and literally every time they do, it's 6 to 9 hours. Yeah, like I wonder if we just need to have a special Erica and Forrest day, you know, once a month on a Saturday or something. Or on those days, can we start Skep Talk 2 hours earlier if we know we're going to head late? You know, like there are solutions to this problem that we could spitball all day. There are potential solutions that are not just like, because I know we probably make hella money when Forrest and Erica are both on together. I mean, just by virtue of us being online for an extended period of time with probably at least 1,000 viewers the entire time, that on its own is pretty significant. But then also like super chats and people are really engaged and they're asking lots of questions and all this kind of thing. Like, yeah. Hello, Mabs. Hello, Ancom Jane. What's up? 38 viewers, 27 likes. If we get 11 likes right now, we'll probably get like another 5 to 10 new viewers. Ask them about the monad. Call next time you're talking to Arden or Forrest. Okay, yeah, so because we have so many different shows on the line, and like because I'm not trying to sit here and like consume that kind of content in my free time, although recently I don't know really why I've been watching Calling It Now, because I don't know, just like maybe because we take political calls explicitly. It's been entertaining, but for the most part, I don't watch all of our other shows. So there's inside jokes from other shows, and it's not one direction. Oh, LOL. It's not only one way. It also happens that way where jokes on Takis end up bleeding out to other shows. Especially like if I am on another show, then people are using our inside jokes. Or like people saying hashtag Team Lux on other shows, even when I'm just producing. Sometimes people will be like hashtag Team Lux, which is kind of cute and fun. But yeah, I don't know what the fucking monad is. And so did Arden tell me that the monad is something from Forrest's own channel and not from the line? It just it's like Forrest, but not on the line. I've got a lot of homework to catch up on, but I don't feel up to doing any of it. Luckily, my professors are pretty cool about late work. Yeah. I will say, and this is something that I was contemplating in great detail last night, that so we can actually fuck ourselves pretty severely in small cumulative ways. In particular, what I mean is if you feel like you have a really hard time doing something, like let's say you have social anxiety and you're having a really hard time getting yourself to go out and meet people, you got invited to a party, or you get regularly invited to things and you have a hard time going, and you okay, so you feel this sense of like, I don't want to go. You're like anxiety, resentment, whatever it is you're feeling, where you're like, I feel like I'm being forced to go to do this thing, whatever it is. So you don't want to go. And like the closer you get to the moment that you need to go, probably the more the feeling builds, right? And if you cancel the plans, you go, ugh, and there's a sense of relief, right? Your body lets go of that feeling, right? So what you have inadvertently done there is you have created a reward for the feeling of I don't want to go and the anxiety and whatever that was going on. You've now created a positive reward for that feeling, which is actually going to make it more likely that you will not want to do it in the future. And babes, that's how we get full-blown agoraphobia. That's how social anxiety becomes agoraphobia. So I'm struggling with this with like doing the dishes, where like every night I like don't do the dishes because I don't want to, and I avoid it, and then I feel relief because I don't do it. And I really have to stop doing that. Like, you have to catch it too. Like, catching it period is good, but once you know what to look for, catching it early is also important. And this could be with so many things. You're like, I really need to talk to my partner about a problem, but I can't bring myself to do it. And then I ultimately decide not to. And then I feel a sense of relief because now I don't have to be vulnerable. And then, oops, the thing never gets solved. And then you get upset about it again later. So congratulations. Hello, Viren. Dr. Lord Viren. Okay. Oh, no, actually, the Monad call was on the latest Forrest and Erica Skep Talk episode. Okay. And I don't know how long ago that was, so maybe it's been a little bit. Everything about the Monad call was bananas, from how it happened in the first place to what the caller actually said. Basically, Forrest and Erica did a call to action in Super Chats to convince Arden to open one more line. They ended up raising $500, so Arden caved and opened the line. And then the caller came in talking about the Monad, which, again, I just do not know what it is. In a box. Hello. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you are having a good time. You know, being busy is troublesome sometimes, but also sometimes it means that we're having lots of wonderful experiences. So I hope that you're having a good time. Also, buying a house. Oof. Oh, gosh. Yeah. That is something that I have like a lot of stuff that I need. So I have like a lot of stuff that I'm trying to buy, and some things that I just like really, really, really want that I'm trying to buy. And like I need to get health insurance and stuff. But like I am really hoping in about 6 months that I'll be able to really start putting some money into savings. I don't know. Sort of depends on how tax season goes. You know, that whole thing. You know how it goes with me and my owing a lot of taxes because I'm self-employed. But hopefully I'll just have enough money around to be able to pay them. And then I'll be able to really start saving money and doing the whole house thing in a few years, right? Like it's going to take a few years to make the money into more money. And speaking of doing sports, like, I want a bicycle so bad. I want a bike so bad. I don't even know. I don't know. Like, I guess I've been wanting a bicycle for a year, maybe at least a year, if not longer. And I've wanted one periodically on and off. My grandma even bought me one at one point when I was like, I want to say about 19 years old. And then it got stolen. So cool. And also, I don't think I knew how to drive. Like, I don't think I understood a bicycle with like gears. So that's maybe why I didn't end up riding it. Oh my goodness.
Inabox gifted 10 tier 2 subscriptions. Mayoside.
Is that $100? Tier 2 subscriptions are $10, right? Okay, wow. Jesus. Thank you. Inabox, your generosity. I'm sorry, I didn't sleep very well. I have period cramps and it sucks. I'm very grateful. I'm a little overwhelmed, but thank you. Thank you. Now we can find out what's in the treasure chest very early on in the show. Thank you. Get some good rest. Hope you have a good rest of your Sunday. But we get to open the box now. I'm going to change this. I'm going to do this. Hold on. Typical. Because I like it when the number go up. I like seeing the full pink bar. Boom. Tier 2 on Twitch is incredibly generous. I don't actually know what Tier 2 is on what Tier 2 is on Twitch, but we are on my website. I guess I haven't plugged the website in a minute. It's luxander.net/live, where when you directly donate to me through my website, I get I get like most of the money instead of like YouTube super chats take like a bunch of it. Anyway, treasure chest. Why? I forgot how heavy this was. It is pretty heavy. Ugh. It's so heavy that I can't even. I don't want to shake it around too much. I don't want to mess it up. Okay, are we ready? Do do do. Do do do. Oh. Oh my god, I'm trying to do this one-handed and it sucks. And I'm trying not to let the thing fall and like hurt my arm. Oh no. eh. Eh. It's Invincible Compendium 1. These are so heavy. And also, like, we have all three of them. It took forever for them to come in the mail. The other two are also the same size. So there are 3 books that are this big. 3 of them. I want to show you. I'm going to show you. I read all of this in like 3 days. I did nothing else for like 3 days. Just absolutely tore through it. Maybe 4. My neck was pretty sore by the end of it. I'm gonna use these to do, I don't know, some kind of exercise. I don't know what it is, but it feels like you should do something. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna put them down now. Ah. Okay, nobody died. Whew. I marathoned all 3 compendiums last month. Yeah. It was fun. Do these have pictures? Yeah, these are the Invincible comics. They're actually in full color. Here, I'll actually show you the inside of one. So, not to like spoil much of anything, but like, yeah, they're full color. The art style gets better as it goes along. There we go. We got a little Mark Grayson and Omni-Man. The Man of Omni. Yeah. They were not inexpensive. But, I don't know. Maybe the cost has dropped now that they're in less demand. I don't know. We ordered one and, like, this one, and it just didn't come for forever. I don't know why. It just took forever to get to us. Okay. Everything's fine. Fucking true, Glamour Claw. Battle Beast is my favorite character. Yes, true. I didn't even know that I liked Battle Beast so much until I was reading the comics, and I was like, it's fucking Battle Beast. Like, I was so hype. I love him so much. Of course, I watched the show first. Hi, pretty baby. Hi. Do you want to be picked up and tortured a little bit? Yeah, I'll put the treasure chest back where it goes. Hi, baby. Come here. Yeah. Yes. Come here. Wah. Hello, baby. Yeah. What a good boy. Are you, baby? With your wet paws? You were knocking the water all over the floor in the kitchen, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are weight training comics. Fucking true. You good boy? Sweet baby? Mm-hmm. Like a baby. You pat him on the back like a baby that you're trying to burp. You good boy? Anyone see a random Luxander in this cat stream? I know. I don't even need to be here. This is your show. I'm just stealing all the limelight from you, Mr. Baby. Yeah? Are you annoyed because you did the signal that means put me down and then I didn't put you down? Do you think you could do it one more time? You do it one more time? Will you kiss me one more time? One more time? Please? He's so irritated right now. Hey, kiss me. Kiss me. Will you do it? Come here. Hey. I make that noise because he kind of, like, can't hear me. Otherwise, can you kiss me, please? You're so regal. With your white whiskers. Will you kiss me? Do you want me to put you down or not? Hello. Am very allergic but would still cuddle Void Kitty. That cat big or you small? He big. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye now. Oh, yep, his paw was dirty AF. Oh, where are my tissues? He knocks the water on the floor, and then he tracks the, like, dusty paws from the litter box into the water on the floor in the kitchen. And thus, we have wet, dusty paw prints all over the place. Battle Beast is the shit. I wasn't sure about him from the TV show, but he pulled through in the comic book. Yeah. I don't want to spoil anything for show watchers, but the comics. Oh, Battle Beast. Hello, Selena. Welcome in. Every time I've seen this cat on screen, I'm impressed by how big he is. My sister has 2 cats, and they're maybe half that size. Yeah, he's like 20 pounds or something. And yeah, I think that we probably should try to find him a vet here and get him on a prescription weight loss food so that he's not, like, being super underfed or something if we tried to put him on a diet. But also it's been kind of tricky to find foods that he likes, and he likes the food that we have right now. So we probably should talk to somebody though, because he's clearly older and, like, maybe even getting arthritic, and probably losing weight would help improve his quality of life while he's still young. I mean, like, he's 15, so young is relative or whatever, but you know what I mean. Ooh, excuse me. Hungry cat is a dangerous creature. Yeah, well, it's also just not nice, you know, for them. If you're just, like, feeding them a very small amount, you know, then they're, like, hungry all the time. So there are options where you can buy them a prescription food where they still feel full, but they're like losing weight, if that makes sense. Aw, I miss my roommate's cat Lilith because she would beg to be picked up, let me hold her and pet her as much as I wanted. That's pretty rare for a cat. Yeah, my cat does not like being picked up. It is not a thing that he is a fan of. You guys ever feel like it's one of those, like, when it rains it pours kind of things? I feel like I was doing pretty good. Yes, that is a Five Nights at Freddy's action figure. That's Foxy. My husband got it for me. I felt for a little bit like, okay, things in my personal life are going pretty okay. You know, like, things are going pretty all right. And I felt like I was pretty on top of it. And, like, yeah, little things slip through the cracks sometimes, but I felt like I was doing pretty all right. And then, like, I started this new job, and I was like, okay, so I'm, like, focusing a lot of energy and attention on that. I've been, like, available on short notice because, like, I've been sent a whole computer and, like, equipment and accessories and stuff so that I can work this job and have, like, company owned equipment for it and not have to use my personal. So yeah, I've been, like, really keyed into that. And so it's now basically the end. I guess this is sort of the beginning of my 3rd week as a producer. Or just, yeah, I started with Skeptalk on Monday. But yeah, so just about starting my 3rd week of being a producer with The Line. And I was like, okay, now I basically have 2 jobs that I'm getting paid for. But, like, obviously, I kind of consider it a job to do the management of the home, even though I guess like I feel okay, so I have, I guess, a little bit of imposter syndrome around being able to put my home skills at the same level as one of my paid jobs, because I definitely don't keep the house as clean as I even want it to be, but also I fucking work and I'm disabled full time also. So I'm trying to like give myself a little slack about that. Um but like at the very minimum, I meal plan and I buy all the food and I cook all the food except for the 2 nights a week that my sibling cooks. So yeah, the planning and management of all that, and then like when things like the bathroom get cleaned, it's usually me doing it, etc., etc. Um, so now I'm like, okay, I have two jobs that I'm being paid for, and then like several other responsibilities, and obviously like I am not required to cook dinner. It just saves us a fuck ton of money, and it is a way of keeping us healthy, so I do it. Um, yeah, and then so I started the new job. I've been kind of like, okay, I'm doing that, and like also like in the backdrop of all this, like everything is still fucked up within the world. Um, and I'm trying to like work through that and just like I guess I compartmentalize a lot of what's going bad in the world, or I'll have like 1 or 2 days where I really get upset about something, but then I'm like basically fine, and then I'm just like focused on getting my shit done. Right? I have to be functional, so I just power through. And then my younger sibling had a struggle that they were going through mental health wise, and I'm getting them prepared to start GED classes. That's something I don't think I've mentioned recently. Maybe I mentioned a few weeks ago, but I'm getting my sibling in classes for the GED. Basically so that we can figure out what they need to know in order to pass the class, or in order to pass the test, I should say. So we've already been doing education on math and all this kind of shit. I am just like, how much math do we need to teach you in order for you to take the GED? And I just think that it will also be good for them to be in classes, because like the whole problem was that they were a big part of the problem, at least, is that they were under socialized because they weren't sent to school. Apparently there's a video configuration error when I'm on your site. Is anybody having problems with the website today, or do you need to clear your cookies, maybe? Cookies cache? Clear that stuff out, refresh, restart, whatever. Oh my God, oh, and also my fucking herpes broke out this week. In the midst of me trying to tell you like why I'm feeling overwhelmed and a little bit like bummed out right now, the herpes sore is part of it. And also like an indication that the struggle that I feel mentally like I'm having is a struggle that is like physically manifesting in my body, which is fucking great. There's some crazy shit going on the street outside. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but it's loud, and I'm sorry if you can hear it. That's one bad thing about managing to figure out what was wrong with my audio settings, is like now I'm loud, and like all the background sounds are now also going to be more noticeable. Rip. Anyway, so I'm helping prepare my sibling to start their GED classes, which is also like money up front as well, that I have to like make sure that their classes are paid for and they have all the supplies that they need and all this, blah, blah, blah. Homemaking is a separate full-time job for sure. I can't even manage it just for myself. Okay. Yeah, exactly, right? It's like hard enough when you have to pick up after yourself. And then it's like, no wonder I get kind of annoyed when, like, yes, I do leave things on the kitchen counter, but who's the one who comes through and cleans everything up off the kitchen counter? Me. So it's different when other people leave shit on the counters, because I'm like, when are you going to come in here and put everything away? When are you going to come in here and even put your stuff away, much less everybody else's stuff? So that's like the burden that I have taken on for myself, I guess, is fixing shit. So anyway, yeah, sibling had a mental health episode while also trying to get ready for this GED thing. So I've had to take time off work to deal with this stuff. Hi, Baphomet. When I say take time off work, I usually mean this stream, because this is the thing that I can drop the ball on. Or rather, I guess I'm pretty on it with the streams. It's more like, the output of video content. Because I have a video that I've recorded, and I just need to edit it and upload it. And I haven't gotten started on uploading it or on editing it. Partially because I'm trying to respect the sacrosanct nature of the weekend and not do work on Fridays, even though I can. I'm trying to do better of like having those boundaries and not getting burned out long term. So like Fridays, even though I could work, and like edit and upload a video that day, I don't think it is like the responsible choice long term, you know? Um, yeah, and then like, so sometimes this thing happens where like I'm overwhelmed by all the stuff that I have to do. Hit the like button if you ever get overwhelmed by all the stuff that you have to do. Um, and sometimes, so you've got all these spinning plates, right? And sometimes a couple of them drop and fall and break, right? And so sometimes you're like, you forget something important and that makes you like make a mistake or whatever. And maybe you have like only a couple things like that. Maybe like a handful of things that you're like, oh shoot, I forgot to do this, or like, oh, I dropped the ball on that, or I did that wrong, right? And then sometimes the people who are affected by those decisions or like by those mistakes, like in the workflow chain or your kids, for example, or whatever, like if mom forgets to go to the grocery store, then nobody has snacks for the week. Or even if you just forget, like, one of your family members has a particular snack that they want, and you forget to get it, or you get the wrong one, and then they take it super personally. And that's like, and it's like, the thing that I struggle with is not necessarily that like I made a mistake. It's the like, when people take that personally, instead of being like, oh, I get it, you're kind of dealing with a lot of stuff, because ultimately what that ends up doing is just like adding to the pile of problems. So it's like, I made a mistake because I'm busy and I'm overwhelmed and I'm kind of stretched a little thin. And I'm not really like reaching out for emotional support because I'm just kind of like the Energizer Bunny. I'm just kind of going. So I'm just like, yeah, I make a couple of mistakes. And then when people are inflexible about that, when they don't extend a little bit of grace and understanding, it's just like, yeah, you've just added to my problems at the height of when I needed help. So then it becomes like your sole responsibility to like fix whatever the thing was and also try to help that person feel better. And, sometimes people will tell themselves narratives like, you were supposed to call me when you were on the way back home, but you didn't, and you don't even care, and it's the like, the you don't even care part is the part that is actually upsetting you. That's an interpretation of the events. And so it can be kind of difficult when you're arguing against someone's interpretation of your actions. And like, so you're like, yes, I acknowledge that I did the action and I'm sorry that it hurt you, but like the assumption that I don't care is like the problem. And of course, a lot of people with ADHD can relate to that struggle of just like, you just don't remember shit sometimes, maybe even a lot, depending on how much stress you're under. And it's like directly correlated with how stressed you are. And then, yeah, to have, your mom get mad at you for, or, your teachers express disappointment and it's because it's the part where they're like, you're lazy, where they say like, you just don't have initiative. You really need to get your priorities straight. And like all of this is a kind of personal attack because it is assuming that you are making choices and that your value structure is different to what it actually is. So it like in the midst of everything, you're also trying to like fight against what feels like a personal attack and a personal mischaracterization of your behavior, which can be double, triple upsetting if you are also autistic. Because you're like, no, actually, I do care quite a lot. And like the idea that I am like doing something nefarious, or that like you're reading intentions into something I didn't do, or like you are assuming that I meant something that I didn't, even if I'm telling you the opposite, like it just ends up in this fucked up like situation. So and then like, yeah, I guess that is part of why I have herpes breakout. And then I don't know why I'm just like, it's just really bad timing that now today I also have cramps. Oh my God. I did drink I bought my partner some tonic water because he just likes tonic water. I drank one of his tonic waters earlier because quinine is a pain reliever. And I feel like it's helped. Like I'm standing up and it doesn't hurt quite so bad. We'll see how long that lasts. I'm also drinking my black tea with rose because rose tea apparently is also supposed to help with like muscle pains and therefore helps with cramps because cramps are a form of muscular pain. IDK, my BFF Jill. We're having a rough time. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm glad that clearing your cache and cookies helped. Naomi says, at one point I was working 48 hours every week and I would only get 1 day off per week. My roommates would endlessly bitch at me if I fell behind on laundry or cleaning, despite them not helping out. It was kind of miserable and not a great situation. Yeah, no kidding. When there are people who just expect you to do everything, which I'm not saying that that's necessarily what I'm dealing with, but like I get what you're saying of like there are people who are just expecting you to do everything and then they get mad at you when you don't do everything, and it's like that was never sustainable in the first place. Of course, you see that a lot in like heterosexual women TikTok. I don't actually go on TikTok. I just see like lots of shorts in the Facebook feed, basically, the reels or whatever they're called in the Facebook feed, and like Instagram as well. But like straight women TikTok, by that I mean shorts content, a lot of it is about this same kind of thing where like men will refuse to do things around the house. They perceive that as 100% the woman's job. Even if she's a stay-at-home mom, like they're like, okay, well, you're a stay-at-home mom, therefore 100% of that is your job. I work full-time, therefore I have to do 0% of the work at home. And what's worse is when they're even antagonistic and they're like, you failed. Like if our kids don't have clean clothes, then that's because you failed at your one job that you have, which is to manage this house, right? And you're like, but I have like 15 different jobs. You realize that like getting the kids on time in the morning and getting the kids ready for bed at night and bathing them and fucking cooking and going to the grocery store and cleaning up after the baby and also usually taking care of the pets during the work day and making sure kids are getting to their doctor's appointments and picking up their prescriptions, and like moms do all of that stuff, especially stay-at-home moms, in those dynamics where the man is just not expected to do anything. So it's wild when someone just pins all the expectations on you. You did not like necessarily consent to it. You didn't agree to, I'm going to do 100% of everything all the time, especially if you work another job. So yeah, it's like you've just imposed this job on me and then you're going to treat me shitty when I don't do it. Like I didn't say that I could do it. I didn't agree to do it in the first place. I never said that I would be able to. Like if this was a job interview, I would have said, I don't think I can do all of that. Tamarin says, I wasn't diagnosed with, I'm just going to say autism spectrum disorder until I was 18. My childhood was my father repeatedly calling me lazy and worthless. Totally. Yeah. It's so toxic and harmful to like, and there's sort of, I guess like, yeah, the accusation of lazy because it makes it seem like you're just choosing not to do it. When in reality, you are struggling and you wish you could and you don't know why you can't and you're trying to figure it out. So like, yeah, it's the character judgment that is so toxic. And I think that that is what sort of, that's like the sort of normalized abuse toward ADHD people, or just like I'm saying ADHD to mean like the umbrella term. You could also only have one of them and not both of them. But like the, you know, neurodivergent people of that particular flavor that, yeah, it like cuts at you in a way when there's like the assumption that you're doing it on purpose, right? Like the idea that you're choosing to do it, you're choosing to drop the ball, or that like it's like not a priority to you and therefore you forget. Where they don't understand, like I forget my own doctor's appointments sometimes. I have not in a while, like maybe I've forgotten I had therapy one time, but like for the most part, I try to stay really on top of that kind of thing. But you know, forgetting to eat, forgetting to cash a check, things that would benefit us, we also forget those things. So it's so difficult when other people like, and again, it's that narrative that they're choosing. I have like my DBT book around here somewhere, but the like there are certain situations in which emotions are justified. And that's like either something did happen, like your goals were blocked, for example, is a justifiable reason to be angry. If you perceive that your goals have been blocked, that is also a type of justification for feeling angry. Now, the question becomes, was your goal actually blocked? Or is it just a temporary setback? Or is it just a negotiation? Or is it just a compromise that you have to find? So like that's the part where emotion regulation skills come into play. And maybe that's the part that I feel frustrated by, is that people tend to make others responsible for their emotional states. And therefore, like I have had to do, for example, a lot of internal work around jealousy. Like, it's not my partner's fault that I feel jealous. I mean, to an extent, sure, I have abandonment issues partially because of patterns in our relationship, and like patterns of avoidance and anxious attachment that like have been not great, right? And like some of the things that have been said during arguments have caused me to feel like a sense of abandonment, right? A fear of abandonment. So the fear of abandonment then turns into jealousy, and I have had to work internally to figure out like, okay, it's not rational for me to believe that my partner is going to do something when like I have no indication that that's the case. And like, we're pretty honest with each other about this shit. And like, I think, you know, we've had an open relationship before. So if we wanted to open it up again, I'd feel like that would be a conversation that would be on the table and that wouldn't require sneaking around. But whatever, it's an entire fucking thing where I'm like, I don't really feel like it's rational for me to be this freaked out, right? So, but kind of harkening back to what I was saying earlier about creating reward systems, is that if you are jealous of your partner and you snoop on their stuff, if you don't find anything that indicates that they are doing something, then you're going to experience a feeling of relief. Guess what? That's a reward system for your jealousy. You are more likely to be jealous in the future. This is also the case with asking for reassurance. Now, it's not like a crime to ever ask your partner for reassurance, to say like, I'm feeling jealous. Can you please just reassure me that you're not interested in this person like that, or whatever, or that you really do love me and care about me and you would never cheat on me, okay? Because if you do that and you believe them, and you get a sense of relief, again, you have rewarded your jealousy. It is a much longer process, more difficult, challenging to like overcome it and stop doing it, you know? Because like it was my interpretations of like my perceived lack of value, or my assumption that my partner would be willing to leave, or like whatever, the unkind things that you think about your partner when you're jealous of something that they're doing. So yeah, that's part of why I can find it so difficult when like people are upset with me and I feel like the interpretation is where the thing goes wrong. Because again, I can be like, I understand why you would feel disappointed that I didn't do that thing that I said I was going to, and I'm really sorry for forgetting. And to me, that feels like it should be basically the end of the conversation. But so often it feels like there's then this additional like, yeah, but I still feel bad about you doing it. Like, you apologizing doesn't make me feel any better. And I still have this narrative that you don't care, or this narrative of my own abandonment process or whatever, that I'm going to still expect you to answer for to a degree. And then I'm on the hook emotionally to like reassure someone, to help them out. And like, I only just realized this literally yesterday, like, oh, I created the reward system for this behavior by, you know, being like, no, I trust me. Like, I do care. I'm sorry. And like the process of reassuring that person, and the fact that eventually they do feel better and that things go back to normal, you know, but then why is it coming back around? Like, why would they not learn at a certain point, like, that I do care? Why would they continue to make this assumption every time I like drop the ball on one or two things, that like it's on purpose or something, or I'm doing it like negligently or intentionally or something. And it's because like, well, the original problem that's their interpretation was never solved, because that's the problem in that situation, is that you continue to interpret things in a way that's like causing you to feel emotional distress, and like that I have fed into that unintentionally, which is a crazy thing to realize. People tone policing me and getting offended because of how I come across sometimes because of autism and ADHD is so irritating. Yeah, that's definitely a big part of it. Especially because I often feel like if I just say like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, I didn't mean to, here's the reason why that happened, and I'm like gonna try not to do it again. Like now, because like now that I understand why it happened, now I can avoid it again in the future. And like, I feel like that's a good apology. I was literally like teaching my younger sibling how to do an apology properly yesterday, because we had some pretty big issues where I was like, I found out that they had been hiding some things from me, and I was like, I'm about to have to give you a lot of trust and like trusting in your responsibleness right now, because you're about to be like going to these classes and you're going to be taking the bus without me, and like I need to feel confident that you're there every day and that you're, you know, spending the money that I'm giving you on the food and the bus, which is what you need to be doing. So we had to go through a whole thing where I was like, here's what I think constitutes a good apology. And I'm curious what you guys all think about this as well. Like, what constitutes a good apology? I was like, okay, you probably want to like lead with the apology part. I'm sorry for what? And like, for example, it was like having food trash in their room, which like I had trusted them to have food in their room. Their room was getting unacceptably messy, and they were keeping dishes in there, and there was like food trash on the floor and stuff. And I was like, wow, that's unacceptable. So you can't have food in your room anymore. But they were still doing it, like hiding food in their room. And I was like, oh, I caught you. So we had to establish, right? And so I was like, you know, they're apologizing for having food trash in their room. And I was like, I also think in a good apology, you should demonstrate that you understand why it was upsetting. And I think it's really important in an apology that the person who's apologizing, that they demonstrate that they at least somewhat agree that what they did was not the correct thing to do in the first place, you know? Like, you know, that's the whole thing. That's why, like, again, with the straight TikTok thing, where like so many times when husbands are apologizing, they're like, I'm sorry you feel that way. Because they don't actually give a shit. Like, they don't actually think that what they did was wrong in the first place. If they like, whatever, if they said, oh honey, you can go take care of the kids and put them to bed, I'll clean up the kitchen. And then all they do is like take the pot of food on the stove and put the lid on it and then shove that entire thing in the refrigerator. And they don't do the dishes, and they don't wipe down the stove and counters. They don't do any of that stuff. And then the mom comes down later and she's like, what the fuck? What is the deal with this? I totally can't even remember where I was going with that story or with that example either. It's struck like a smooth criminal. Oh yeah. So when the wife is mad at him and he says, I'm sorry you feel that way, instead of being like, I said that I was going to fucking do the cleaning and I didn't, and I can understand why that would upset you. When they say, I'm sorry you feel that way, it's because they do not agree that what they did was wrong in the first place. They do not care. And so that is something that I think is really important in an apology, is like, even if you can't agree on every point, like, and maybe this is part of why I'm hesitant to give apologies, right? Like, because sometimes someone will be mad at me and I'll be like, I don't know that I agree that that's a good reason to be mad. So I don't want to just apologize like in a way that functionally ends up being like, I'm sorry you feel that way, or that is a lie. Like, if I say, I'm sorry I did that, like, I feel like I need to actually believe that it was the wrong thing to do in the first place. So I will try to find like, okay, like I can understand blah, 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 whatever, that like this made you feel insecure or whatever. And then like, so if I do this differently in the future, then that will avoid that, whatever. That's something that I personally think is important in an apology. And then, yeah, toward the end, you say like, here, I'm not going to do it again, or here's how I plan to do it differently. But like, I am not going to believe you necessarily when you say you won't do it again unless you demonstrate to me that you understood why it was wrong to do it in the first place. And to again, that we agree on a value system of behavior going forward. Oh no, the calendar on my phone is a color-coded mess of everything I can't forget to do. Oh no. I hope that helps you. The calendar thing, I've done it before, but it just doesn't do it for me. Yeah, understanding why something is not okay is important. What's up? The Great Monad. I love this meme spreading. The Lions Afternoon Show is on. I'll be lurking. Have a good stream. Yeah. I'm not going to change the time that I stream. I always stream when Matt Dillahunty is on, and I'm just like, too bad. Is there something wrong with not being jealous? I've never felt jealousy in any relationship, and my wife of 20 years says it means I don't really care. No, I think it means that you're secure. I think it means that you don't feel challenged by any of your wife's friends, and you're not worried about her. Like, you trust your wife and you're secure in yourself that you have value, and like, probably even if you do get cheated on, you won't freak out. You'll be like, oh, that is not a reflection on me. Like, I do think that jealousy comes from a place of being insecure. And I'm not saying that to be judgmental of anybody. I'm a very jealous person. I'm just saying that, like, I think that my jealousy, at least, comes from a place of, like, being worried about being abandoned. Or, you know, if I feel like as a trans person, I'm inherently less desirable, or as a disabled person, oh my God, even more so than my being trans, as a disabled person, I feel like a less worthy partner. And maybe that's part of why I try to compensate by like making sure that there's always dinner on the table, you know, like where I'm maybe doing that in a maladaptive way. I don't know. But like, my point is, I think that my jealousy personally comes from a place of insecurity. And if you don't have that problem, then it's probably less likely for you to be a jealous person. Cheeky Bast says, personally, an apology has an instant and a prolonged effect. They own it in the moment without over self-flagellating. Then they show you by doing the thing they are sorry for. Yeah. And I'm curious too, like, if the thing, for example, like if I hurt someone's feelings repeatedly by forgetting things, like, yeah, well, it's not like things that I could put on the calendar, right? Unless I want to have like a giant unwieldy list of like, you know, I need to buy this specific cheese, or like I need to like wash this particular garment in a particular way or something like that. And I'm not saying that like, I don't know. It's just stuff that's hard to keep like a list of. Like, how would I even have a system? How, like, I just don't know how to have a system for that kind of. It's not like I'm forgetting important dates or anything like that. It's not something I could put in a calendar. It's not something I could set an alarm for. So I'm like, if my forgetfulness is hurting people around me, I just, at a certain point, I do kind of feel like, don't take it so personally. Does that make sense? And like, and that's after many, many, many times with numerous people of being like, I'm so sorry, I forgot this. Like, that was really my bad. I'm going to try to do it differently. And like, so many, many times where I've been like, I did not mean that personally, and I can understand why you're upset. And then like, but that's never the end of the conversation. It feels like there is always that second step of like, the person is not going to let it go and say like, yeah, okay, cool, it's chill, you know? And yeah, so it's like, if you're just in a like living life in a community with a person who has memory problems, like, I guess I just, because I have had to disengage my feelings from it. I've had to disengage my feelings and be like, just because I forget things doesn't mean I'm a bad person. And like, just because, you know, I've had to unlearn that, like, because I was being told that from people all the time. So I have a copacetic relationship now with my memory problems. I think, you know, I'm like more like, haha. I used to have big existential problems where I was like, I basically am just like forgetting, and I like, if every once in a while I just like can't remember what happened in the last 30 seconds, Like, I can't remember what was being said or what I was thinking for the last 30 seconds. Like, am I just losing? As freaked out about it now. So maybe, like, at a certain, because I just maybe have that expectation where I'm like, people around me should also kind of get used to it because this is just what life is like. And to me, it's not a big deal. And if I'm not like forgetting people's weddings, then I don't really think it's that big of a deal. But I'm willing to acknowledge that maybe that is like, is that like unkind of me? Is that avoiding accountability in some way? I don't know, especially when it is things like, I'm like, I don't know how I could possibly remember those things because of the sheer fucking volume of things that I have to remember at a given time. Naomi says, I don't always have jealousy issues. It depends on the relationship dynamics. And usually to me, it's a sign that there is an unhealthy dynamic, IMO. Possibly. I only get jealous over stuff I can't possibly have. Like cats make me dysphoric. No. Oh, no. Thank you, Leah. Good luck this Sunday. Every day, actually. I appreciate that. I need some good luck right now. I feel like everything fucking sucks, so I'll probably feel better in a day or two. It's probably mostly just like the cramps and the not sleeping well the past couple nights that are making me so grumpy, but I'm going to try to be less grumpy. 52 viewers. Hello. Can we get to 69 likes today? I love getting to 69 likes. We already reached the donation goal for today, but if you want to donate, you still can. My job is to keep the chill vibes rolling a couple times a week. And we do talk about some politics stuff. I feel like there's not really much to say about the whole Trump announcing he's going to deploy to Portland. Can someone tell me what happened in Chicago? Because I feel like I was seeing a lot less on social media about Chicago than I was expecting, considering all of the like lead up into Trump saying he was going to send the National Guard there. Oh my goodness.
Thefuzzilogic has donated $100. ODHD here, feeling very seen RN. Parents pretty much gave up on me at 14 for being lazy and refusing to apply yourself BCI aced exams but couldn't do HW or chores. Got DX at 38, stay safe smile.
I like that it says smile. That's cool. Thank you, Fuzzilogic, for the $100. Yeah, I am sorry that you had that experience. Ugh. It sucks when your parents are your first, like, actual bullies. That's crazy. But thank you very much for donating, and I'm glad that you got your diagnosis. Then at least you can, like, know what's wrong. I saw a thing recently that was, like, an 80-year-old dude got diagnosed. Like, someone was talking about their granddad who was, like, in their 80s and just got diagnosed as ADHD and was like, well, that makes a lot of things make more sense now, basically. Like, well, that puts a lot of things into perspective. Pritzker said, try me. I have my litigation pen ready, and the Tangerine Tyrant backed down. Skirmishes. Oh, yeah. So I guess I did see skirmishes with ICE because Kat Abugazale got, like, pushed to the ground. And, like, I saw videos of them trying to block the cars and everything. Okay, cool. I guess it just seemed like it was going to be much more wide scale than it ended up being, or I'm not sure. Maybe it was just, like, chill. But I honestly am not sure what Portlanders are going to do, right? Like, he keeps saying like, oh, this is a war-ravaged place. And a huge part of the response that I've seen online is people sharing pictures and videos just in Portland of like, oh no, look at this war-ravaged area. And it's like a picture of a duck in a park. And even when people, like, I'm on Facebook and Instagram and I'll read the comments a little bit on these issues, even the folks who are saying bad things about Portland, who are like, trying to say like, oh, we need this here, like the only things that they can really cite as like, oh, this is a big problem is literally just homeless people existing outside. They're like, there's so many homeless there and they're hollering, and I was like, okay, that's a job for the police or for social workers. Like, that is not something that we need military assistance for. We're fine. Like, everything's fine. Like, I know that it freaks people out to be around unstable individuals in their community, right? Like, I get it. I also am scared sometimes of like, I'm like, ooh, especially I'm like, ooh, I don't want to walk next to this man I don't know, right? Like, there's usually more than one factor. It's usually not just like a homeless. No, right? You know, because I'm also weirded out by men in public in general. Okay, let's get it real. Yeah, so I don't know. It's just people freak out about stuff that's basically just fine. And I also just always have that question of like, when you're trying to talk about solving the homeless issue, what do you mean? What do you mean? I feel like I'm Jennifer Lawrence on Hot Ones. Like, what do you mean? Why is Trump sending the National Guard to Portland? So basically, J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, has said, and I don't think that he's wrong. I basically agree with the idea that he's probably sending military in to cities where he expects to have like a lot of pushback in the elections. And basically, like, Pritzker has said that Trump is trying to normalize the presence of troops so that, like, when the midterm election comes up, like, the presence of troops with the potential to use that to like take over an election or to like throw out ballots that they've just decided are not valid because they're, you know, all the illegals are voting in Chicago or whatever your fucking argument is. So that's what JB Pritzker is basically saying, that this is a way to effectively prevent a real election in the midterm elections. So, yeah. I can't say what the reasoning is, though. I have no fucking idea what's going to happen next. I feel like every time I predict something, it goes a way that I was not thinking it was going to go. So I'm just kind of like along for the ride at this point. There were ice boats on the Chicago River downtown. Guys were standing on the bow with long guns just for intimidation because there ain't no immigrants in the river. True. One more like. Thank you, Carba Starba. Excellent choice. We're so close to 69. He keeps threatening different cities with sending troops and then not following through. Is that the case, though? I feel like he deployed to California. He deployed to Chicago. Or rather, like, maybe, what did someone say earlier, that he did not end up sending the National Guard to Chicago? He ended up just sending ICE and Border Patrol. Literally, oh my god, Nuvenal, literally, it's asking the homeless question. I was typing a fucking comment on like Instagram earlier, and that was, yeah, it like occurred to me while I was saying, like, I often wonder like what people mean when they say they want a quote solution to the quote homeless problem. And I realized, I was like, oh, it's the Jewish question, but for homeless people. Trump always chickens out, Taco. I've also seen a lot of the acronym FDT recently, which, as far as I can tell, means fuck Donald Trump. Just from the context clues, you know, I think that's what it means. Big DoD meeting with all the big generals and Hegseth this week, gathered from all over the world. Isn't this right after they just fired a bunch of senior staff as well? So they fired a bunch of senior staff, and now they're having all of our generals meet, literally, like, including people who have been deployed, who are in active duty situations, like bringing them all back to one big meeting, which seems bad. It's like, it's really fucking basic military operations stuff. Like, I'm literally not even in the military, and I can see how retarded it is to have all of them in one place. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, let's put all of our most senior military staff in one room together at the same time. Fucking brilliant. Like, maybe this is intentional. Like, of course, I'm treating it like, LOL, you're stupid. But, like, are they gonna get rid of all of the senior staff? Like, are they firing everybody all at once? Like, I don't know. Are they going to force these people to swear loyalty oaths or something? Oh no, the cramps. They're coming back. I'm going to die. Okay, cool. Thoughts on government shutdowns concerning defunding HRT for adults? Dude, there are so many reasons for the Democrats to be completely justified in doing a government shutdown right now, and fucking defunding HRT for adults is only one of the reasons. Leah Land says, suspect they're making plans and plan to weed out the ones who won't play ball. Possibly. Maybe. Hello, Riffs No Leads. Welcome in. True, Nuvenal. I feel like this meeting is going to ultimately be basically like this could have been an email. Yeah. I mean, I think that I can't imagine what it would be other than, I can't imagine what it would be other than basically like a loyalty thing. True, I'm scared I might lose my health care. Well, I mean, I think that that's part of the reason for the why the Democrats should do a shutdown, right? Like, because part of what's going on here is, and I think that the Supreme Court even just said that it's okay for Trump to be doing this. So for Trump to just say, I am not going to send this money that Congress has allocated. So it's Congress's job to allocate funds to the government. So they say, we are going to spend X amount of money every year on the Department of Education, blah, 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 etc. And like when Trump just says no, that's fucking literally illegal. It's literally illegal, but the courts are like, whatever, it's fine. So part of what this shutdown is about is that the Democrats wanted to have a meeting with Trump. They asked to have a meeting with him. They're trying to get him to send the funds for healthcare stuff, for Medicare, Medicaid stuff. And he's basically like, fuck you, I'm not going to have a meeting with Democrats. So if the Democrats force a government shutdown or not, you're not getting funding for the healthcare stuff. Like, that's on Trump. I'm afraid that there's going to be Democrats that cave in the context of shutdowns. Oh, I mean, yeah, of course. I am also worried about that. Hitler called all the officers together to sign a loyalty agreement to him. Ooh! You know that I didn't know that, Clifton, but this is yet another one of those moments. This is one of those moments where maybe I'm like, I think my prediction might be correct, actually. Okay, something crazy just happened in the other room. I'm going to be right back. Okay, everything's fine. Nothing is broken. Everything's fine. I was worried that maybe my cat knocked something over. That's not what happened. Everything's fine. It wasn't the cat. It was just physics. But yeah, I did not know that Hitler had people sign a loyalty agreement in that same way. Like, so Hitler did the same thing. He did the dumbass thing of calling a bunch of senior officers together all in one time to sign a loyalty agreement. I did not know that fact. Now that I do know that fact, I feel even more vindicated in my presumption that he is going to be he's going to be asking them to sign some kind of loyalty agreement or something. Like, I don't know what else it could be. So maybe it is going to, in effect, become a mass firing event. Oh, you know what? I just realized that I'm not wearing my glasses. I can read okay without my glasses, but not super well. So sometimes I don't even notice. Like I get partway through my day and I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? I should be wearing my glasses. It would be a lot easier to read. Like, my vision sucks in the morning anyway, so sometimes I just don't notice. I wonder if the Germans who weren't Nazis thought Hitler and his ilk were as spectacularly dumb as we do. That's a great question. I'm actually curious about that. Like, I feel like there is an answer to that question, right? Like, there has to be an answer to that question. Did the German public think Hitler was an idiot? On r/askhistorians. That's fucking funny. Okay, so here we are on reddit.com, and did Germans think that Hitler was stupid? I know a lot of people who think that Donald Trump is stupid. It's certainly a popular opinion on Reddit. Also, a lot of people think that Donald Trump is going to try and take over in a way that is similar to what Hitler did. Did German people before, or maybe secretly after Hitler took power, think that he was stupid? Did Germans underestimate Hitler? In this sense, I don't mean did Germans think that Hitler was incapable of intelligent thought, but rather, did a large segment of Germans think that Hitler was a loud clown rambling incoherently and didn't need to be taken seriously, which I think does fit a possible way to read your question, to which the answer is yeah. Before Hitler came to power, there absolutely was a segment of the German population who did view him that way. During the 1920s, he was seen as a vulgar rabble-rouser on the fringe of politics. A 1927 report by a police observer at a Nazi rally is not charitable, noting that Hitler speaks without notes, initially in drawn-out fashion for emphasis. Later on, the words come tumbling out, and in overly dramatic passages, his voice is strained and barely understandable. He waves his hands and arms around, jumps back and forth excitedly, and always seems to be trying to captivate his attentive, thousand-strong audience. When he's interrupted by applause, he theatrically stretches out his hands. The word no, which occurs repeatedly toward the end of his speech, is stagey and pointedly emphasized. In and of itself, his talent as a speaker was, for this reporter, nothing special. That's fucking savage, homie. It's hardly charitable to Hitler and is hardly unique. The next year, the Nazis would pull less than 3% of the vote in federal elections, which speaks to the lack of appeal. For most Germans of the 1920s, especially those less politically active, if they even really knew much about the Nazis at all, it was probably of S.A. Brownshirt thugs brawling in the streets. That is hardly a perception inclined to a picture of intellectualism, nor flattering to Hitler as their leader. Hitler himself would often be seen in similar, if not more slighting terms than those of the observer above. In modern parlance, his speeches could be easily dismissed as mere psychobabble, not taken seriously, and the intentions ignored. I love this. Thank you, fucking random history dude, for going on and on and on in paragraphs about this. So basically the answer is, yeah, it seems like people generally thought of Hitler the same way that we think of Trump. It was like psychobabble, nonsense, rambling. Yeah, so that's kind of fun. That's cool. I like to know things. Learning is fun. Hey, we have 69 likes. Hey, thanks for that. I appreciate you. Excuse me. Oh gosh. I'm gonna find that and read the whole thing later. Yeah. r/askhistorians. The question is, did Germans think that Hitler was stupid? From 8 months ago, if you want to find it later. Hey, starting a new job soon, would like to use its, but never have before. How do you get people to abide by your pronouns without being annoying? Ryan, I'm going to be completely upfront with you. I would never fucking use its pronouns in a regular workplace. I use them with the line, partially because, like, my friend Jimmy Snow owns the company, and we've been friends for, like, 8 years. So I use its pronouns in that context, which is, like, the closest I would say I have ever come to using them in a professional environment. Like, earlier this year, I was applying to a regular job, and I specifically said I use they, them pronouns, and I even took the its pronouns out of my bio if I thought I was going to be easily found on social media. So that's my perspective on that. I would say that it's a real bad idea to try to use its pronouns at any normal workplace. I'm the exact same way with my vision, which is silly because my eyes are each a different level of bad, and I'll just be like, I guess my head just kind of hurts, IDK. Yeah. It's yeah. Well, in the morning I'm dehydrated and so my eyes don't focus very well because they're just like there's not enough fluid in my body for my eyes to work correctly. So it's not until I get hydrated in the morning and I get like some salt and everything that I even I'm like, "Oh shit." Yeah, I feel like we're just now getting to a place of somewhat of a societal acceptance for they them pronouns that I would just stick with that. Uh and even then you might still experience some trouble with it. So if the question is how do I get my workplace to use my they them pronouns, then yeah, I mean, I guess just, be prepared to gently correct people and be prepared to like report people to HR if they take an issue with it. You just have to gonna have to kind of take each situation as it comes. You could talk to HR beforehand if you wanted to and say like, "Hey, this is the thing," and like, just so you know, I'm not going to be trying to cause any trouble about this, but if somebody is doing it wrong and they can't be corrected or they're being aggressive, then I want you to know beforehand that I'm going to come to you to have that behavior addressed. Um, I'm just trying to make sure that I don't experience a hostile work environment for this thing, because I use they them pronouns, right? That's the special phrase if you want to scare a human resources person is a hostile work environment. The problem is Trump is using liberalism as a means to enact his power grab, and that is arguably more devious and less noticeable. I mean, I don't even know if it could be said fairly at this point that he is using neoliberalism to advance his agenda. Like, it kind of seems like it just is fully on fascism now. Yeah, true. Glamourclaw says, I've reached the point in my transition where I don't care about pronouns. At my new job, people stumble and apologize for calling me he, and I just wave it off. I just hate being called sir. Yeah, same. I don't. It's like I care a little bit, but not enough to bother correcting anybody. And like, even when I'm making new friends in real life right now, if I'm not making queer friends specifically, I'm like not telling people immediately. I'm like, let's get to know each other a little bit, and then I will decide whether I'm going to talk about this or not. Like I did say something about the trans allegory in Mulan the last time we saw. My partner made friends with somebody he works with, and then we helped her move. So while we were helping them move, I said something about the trans allegory in Mulan, but that's the closest I've come to like saying that I'm trans. Dragon in the YouTube chat, what's up, says, I found your YouTube like 2 days ago and really liked it. Definitely I'd watch your live streams if I were to find them more often. The information is relevant and I appreciate it. Well, thank you, Dragon. I stream on Sundays starting at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then it's usually for about 4 hours. And then on Wednesdays, I start at 2 p.m. Pacific time. I know that that's a little early in the day, but it's partially because I have a lot of fans in Europe and I want to make sure that they can see for at least a little while. Yeah, so good to have you here though. I appreciate it. If there's anybody who's new in the community in the website, or sorry, in the YouTube chat, I also have my website. I know some people think that this is Twitch chat. I don't actually stream to Twitch, although I probably should consider streaming to Twitch at the same time. Just, it's probably free money that I'm leaving on the table, TBH. I just want a different, like, I don't know. I gotta, like, try it out sometime, see how it goes. Anyway, so if y'all didn't know, the chat over here is actually from luxander.net/live, and it's really cool over here. No pressure, but it's pretty chill. And now they're going after that spooky Antifa. Oh yeah, I was saying earlier, given that, like, you know, Trump declaring that Portland is a war zone and everything, and then like the response from Portlanders has largely been like posting pictures and going, wow, look at this, my war-torn neighborhood of totally chill people. I wonder if it might be the most powerful statement if there is no protest. I mean, obviously it's hard because part of what they're doing is they're increasing scrutiny on our brown neighbors, and it's like a really, really large proportion of people who live here are Hispanic and like speaking Spanish and brown people. So obviously we want there to be some amount of like direct opposition to the kidnapping of innocent people. But I do kind of see the benefit as well of just being like, just enjoy another day. You know, if most of the people in the city just keep going about their business and drinking their lattes and stuff, that would be a pretty strong message, right? That like everything's fine. We don't need the military in Portland. What's up, Quantum Chaos? Lux, I am not late. I am. You're early. You're not. Hi, friends. Hope you're all well. What's up? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let me amend my liberalism take and say that Trump is using the framework of liberalism as a backdrop for his power grab while also fundamentally ignoring its principles. Yeah, yeah. It's going to be a wild ride the next few years. Yeah, exactly. All these scary people with their lattes, we got to call them military. I think there's a group who's been protesting outside the ICE facility in Portland. And like, there's also a question as to whether ICE is going to be able to continue operating out of that building. Excuse me, because the city issued a permit to ICE that it basically includes like, you can't hold people here for longer than 12 hours in the way that like, you know, with like zoning laws in your city, that there's a whole bunch of areas where there's only commercial buildings, and then in the places where there's houses, there's only houses, right? Because you're only allowed to build houses in the housing area, and you're only allowed to build commercial in the commercial area. So they have a license, a permit to let ICE use this building, but it's not a building that is cleared for like the housing of people for extended periods. So it's supposed to be a processing facility. People are not supposed to be there for longer than one business day, but it seems as though ICE is keeping people there for longer based on how often vehicles are coming in and out and the fact that they've like blocked off the windows. So there is a small protest that is kind of just there all the time around the ICE building, and the city itself is also potentially going to evict ICE from that building if they don't come into compliance with the law and the permit that they were given. The government wants to provoke violence to justify becoming violent. I mean, I feel like they have it already. Like, I don't know. I feel like they have all the justification that they would need, especially because I see so many people who are sympathetic to them. Maybe they perceive it as not enough or something. I don't know, but I don't know. It just seems, I don't know. This is why people do conspiracy theories around things like the assassination of Charlie Kirk. They're like, was that a right-wing plant? Like a right-wing guy killed Charlie Kirk so that they could justify ramping up the crackdowns and everything. Like, I don't know. It is interesting that they're not like, let's go occupy Denver, even though it was Colorado where it happened. Mm-hmm. The cramps hit me kind of hard for a second there, so we're just gonna hang out down here for a minute. What's going on with everybody else? What are other people doing? What are other people thinking about? I'm having a great day. It's my favorite. I'm really looking forward to. I'm probably going to edit tomorrow. I recorded my video about True Blood, and I think I'm going to go ahead and edit it tomorrow and try to have it uploaded like Tuesday probably. And I have producing. I'm going to produce tonight on the Sunday show After Dark, and then tomorrow I have Skep Talk, and then Tuesday I have Chewed Gum. And then Wednesday, I'm planning on streaming again. And I don't actually know if I have Takis this week. I need to do the schedule. I need to tell my availability for October so that they can write the schedule for October. So, yeah. I'm basically assuming that I'm going to be busy all week. And like during the daytime trying to... Oh, man. Oh, okay. I guess it's kind of exciting. Like my younger sibling is actually starting their GED classes this week. And like... I love them, obviously. Like, no shade on my younger sibling for just, like, the simple fact that they are in the house all the time. Like, they're doing their schoolwork and things like I've asked them to do. But I do find a lot of value in just being alone at home. And I find that stuff that needs to happen ends up happening more when I'm home alone. Like, I'm more likely to, like, clean the whole living room if I'm home alone or something. Or, maybe I can get a, like... maybe I can get some editing done and I'll just be in like a different frame of mind being home alone. So yeah, that's going to be kind of cool. I can help. I can like get some stuff done. And so it's like not only are they going to be at the classes for like a chunk of the day, but they're also riding the bus. So it's like probably a good chunk of the day that they're going to be gone. And it's exciting too, to be like, oh, you're a young person and you've kind of struggled with some individuality stuff and like struggled with like independence related things. Because, like, I don't know, just you can't help being, like, developmentally delayed if your parents didn't guide your development. So now getting to have that level of, like, when we were teenagers, I imagine that y'all, maybe you didn't have a driver's license and a car, but probably one of your friends did. Or even without that, like, if your parents drop you off at the mall and then you're just kind of on your own for, like, 3 hours. Even then, that's a level of, like, going places on your own and like independence that my younger sibling didn't have. So I'm really glad that they're going to have this opportunity and that like, the bus isn't crazy expensive. And you can just, go places you need to go. I'm waiting for this series of cramps to go away. I think maybe it's finally starting to kind of chill out. Oh my God, dude. Going to be painting miniatures. Oh, it was Utah. Wait, it was Utah, not Colorado? Oh, okay. We'll send some bitches to fucking Salt Lake City. I don't know, whatever. True, Noah Darkly, exactly. I bought the Communist Manifesto just to confuse the lady in security if they checked my stuff. Yeah. I bought a tiny copy of the Communist Manifesto because I was like, that's adorable. I haven't read it. I was also going to put it up here. I did for a minute put it up here as like one of the things on this top shelf. But then I got nervous and I decided not to put it up there. I got scared of having it in frame all the time. So I guess I'll just have to actually read it at some point. It's not even that long, really. Could probably do it in a couple hours, if that even. Dahlia says, I'm doing a mix of crafting, gaming, and attempting to work on my bedroom today. Hell yeah. I watched the new movie, The Long Walk. It was very good, but intense. Cool. I'm supposed to watch Hereditary at some point soon for the podcast. I've never seen it before. I don't know anything about it. Unrelated. Weeks ago, I cut my hair to show non-binary. I'd like to get professionally done, but I need reference images. Maybe see the back of your hair. I'd like to get pics for my hairdresser. Well, Well, I mean, I guess I can show you what my hair is like. I don't know if it's something that you'd want to copy because I just cut it myself. But um so I shave, you can see like this is the part that I keep long. I shave the sides all to the same length, and then it actually comes all the way back and down to the nape of my neck. So yeah, I don't know if it looks good. I cut it myself, and it's hard to do with like a mirror, and then you're like, bzzz, you know. So I do not like movies in general, but Hereditary is fire. Okay, cool. Hereditary is very good. Saw it in theaters and needed to have a reflection moment for about 20 minutes before leaving. Well, I hate that news. That's bad news. Setting up some of my guitars. Nice, nice. I think I need to get my guitar just like tuned up a little bit. There's like a weird piece of fuzz stuck to me. No spoilers of Hereditary. I'm gonna watch it. I don't want to get spoiled, please. But yeah, I think I need to get my guitar just like tuned and make sure that the fucking truss rod is set up correctly. I literally have the same hair, but mine doesn't come to a point in the back. Is yours like? I think I've seen some people do it where like it gets partially back down their head and then they cut it like so like it would be like shaved flat across like that or something. Which, I mean, yeah, the last I had it before where it was only the top of my head and it cut off like back here. That only like the only long part of my hair was on top. And then when I decided to grow it out, I was like, I'm just gonna grow out this entire back part. Leah says, I can hardly believe how fast my hair has been growing from estradiol. It's really amazing. Yeah. Estrogen is the essence of long hair. I'm going to be going on a big trip out of the US next week. I'm a little scared about my return to the US part of the trip, but I am very excited to go. Nice. Pick up some N95s and wear masks in public, on public transit and on the airplane. Like a mohawk, but very long. Ah, I see. Is a drop in libido a cause for concern when starting tea? Okay, so I just gotta say, if you are just starting tea, there is like 0% chance that it has done anything for you in the past week. You may have like a mood boost, but you're probably not going to have like basically anything else. So if you're having a drop in libido, it's probably because of some other stress related thing. Or like maybe when you get around to like 2 weeks, especially because you're on gel and it's like building up in your system, you probably are not experiencing a lot of like biological impact from the hormones yet. I know I have adjusted the truss rod myself. I just don't think I know how to do it right. I feel like I spun it around and it didn't do anything a bunch. And like, I don't know if I just like completely loosened it or something. I don't know. And that was my other guitar too. Basically, I have two guitars that I need to have looked at and maybe like teach me how to fucking adjust my own tension. And our guy that we took, we take our instruments to. I feel like it's cool that it didn't take very long for us to find like a guy that we like to take our instruments to here. But I'm sure that he will show me, you know, how to get everything set up and everything. Oh, that's funny. I didn't even see that you wrote concert instead of concern. Naomi caught it though. I am Eepy. Oh, so Eepy. I am Eepy and Eepy and Eepy. Truss rods are very incremental in how they adjust small turns. I was doing like quarter turns even. I just feel like it never, like, I was trying to bring it down because, you know, acoustic guitars can be kind of harder to play than electric guitars anyway. So I was trying to like drop down the strings closer to the fingerboard and I just couldn't fucking figure it out. Lots of online resources for guitar work too. I learned how to level, crown, and polish frets from some dude in a 10-minute long video using cheap tools. Hell yeah. Singing I Feel Pretty and Witty and Gay at a Southern Baptist school was a fun way to piss people off. I bet it was a lot of fun. I'm checking if there's anything fun happening on Blue Sky. I'm feeling hungry and gay. Yeah, I actually didn't eat anything earlier, I don't think. I forgore. Okay, I am gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna put on some music for you. I don't know how much longer stream is gonna be because I do have to produce tonight, and therefore I might need to save some of my energy for it. And I hort a lot. But yeah, I'm at least gonna go pee and then come back and we'll reassess and decide how much longer we're gonna stay on. You may have a bridge issue cut too high. Maybe, yeah, that's a possibility. Acoustics are a nightmare. I love my acoustic. Okay, I'm gonna give you some music now. Okay, I'm back now. Hello. I have returned. Return. Some are saying I put the W in meow. This is the first I'm hearing of it. I don't know, but they're saying it. But I'll tell you, quite frankly, I don't mind. I don't mind. That's funny. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but that is funny. Oh, gosh. Nom 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 nom. What is a vegetable you've really enjoyed eating recently, y'all? You reminded me because you said carrots. Like, I think that roasted carrots are so delicious. They are so much more delicious than they have any right to be. But I haven't had roasted carrots in a while, actually. It's not like in the mix of meals that I make. Generally, if I'm doing carrots I use in cottage pie or in my chicken and rice that I make. I have a root vegetable meal that I make. Oh yeah, I did touch my glasses right in the middle of the glass. Cool. Catboy Trump. Well, that's cursed. Trying to show non-binary without saying it. True, like Dragon, I completely understand. I don't know if I pass as non-binary in public. You know, a lot of the time if I'm out in public, my hair is up because then I can easily wear my mask. I wear N95 with 2 straps, so the first strap goes up and I can put it above my ponytail, and then the other strap is just whatever, it's down here somewhere. So my hair is up a lot of the time, but because of the way that I dress and everything, I don't think I pass as non-binary. I don't think anybody... I'm wearing a mask, whatever. I don't know. I just don't think that people can tell that I'm queer. It's weird. When I played bass, I would make it require more pressure to press the strings down because it sounded better. Yeah, my partner had to have his adjusted. He had to have his action adjusted because he was getting a lot of buzz on his bass. But like I said, we finally found a guy who he likes and who adjusted it, and now he's able to play on his regular bass. He was playing on like a mini bass for like a year or more. Just because there was so much buzzing on that back end. Asparagus? Dude, I love asparagus. I haven't had it in a little bit because I recently switched to basically only eating vegetables that I buy at the farmer's market, and asparagus is a springtime vegetable, apparently. So, I haven't had any asparagus in a while since... But normally I do love to eat asparagus. I'm just trying not to buy my produce at fucking Walmart. We have 75 likes. That's very chill. Thank you, everybody, for hitting the like button. It does help the show. It makes me feel good about myself. I'm sorry I'm all the way down here. Man, is it time for me to sit down? Do I just have to give up on standing for today? Not quite a vegetable, but I am exploring my appreciation for various types of beans as an adult, because I absolutely hated them as a kid. Nice. I know that sometimes it's a texture problem for the beans. Like my partner has a texture problem sometimes. Oh, something about roof trusses. Okay. Bridge trusses, roof trusses, guitar trusses. Tomatoes, I'm still kind of about them, but enjoyable. It is not a safe food because texture, but expanding my palate is worth it. Totally. I also think, speaking of like the advantages of getting food from the farmer's market, I do just think that there is a huge benefit to eating fresh foods because they taste so much better. Obviously, you still, buying frozen vegetables, if you're going to buy vegetables from Walmart, buying frozen is basically like the most nutritious. because the vegetables that they're freezing, they don't have to be vegetables that have been bred specifically to last like 8 weeks on a truck or whatever the fuck. I know I'm exaggerating a little bit. I'm being a little bit hyperbolic, but yeah, the fact that so many of these things are like made to be shelf stable for longer means that you end up losing out on some of the nutritional benefit, because you need more and more starch basically for them to not go limp soon. Because like, you know, I buy carrots at the farmer's market and they are limp within like 2 days. They're still usable for the rest of the week, but they do go limp immediately, right? Whereas like the carrots that I buy at the store, I could have them in my fridge for a month before they start to go soft, but they don't taste as good, right? So with something like tomatoes especially, I do think that there is such a huge benefit to doing tomatoes locally, because they tend to have a much more savory and intense flavor, and they also tend to have a less grainy texture in my experience. So I do find that it's worth it. And I also really think that the tomatoes that you get at the farmer's market are like beautiful. You know, they are sometimes they have some really wonderful color and variation on even just one tomato. You know, it'll have like those weird little stripe things that kind of look like alopecia, or not alopecia, vitiligo. Oh my god, dude. Sometimes when craving a specific veggie, it's because the body needs a nutrient it knows is found there. Besides liking carrots, your body might be asking you to uptake your vitamin A. Oh, that's interesting. Well, no, I mean, I knew that. Yeah, there is like a relationship between your gut and your brain. And so when you're craving something food-wise, it's like supposed to be like messages from your gut going to your brain. Oh, I thought I hated beans as a kid, but it was just because my family always bought the baked beans that were filled with sugar and I didn't like it. Oh no. I recently signed up for one of those pre-planned meal subscription boxes in an attempt to eat healthier and find recipes I can recreate later that I like. Yeah, finding the one that works for you is important. The thing that helped me a lot was the Sorted Sidekick, which is like $5 a month or something. And it helps you with recipes and meal planning, and even with your grocery list planning. And especially with like, I like one pot meals. I'm a big fan of like, let's try to use only one pot. And set it and forget it type foods are good too. So I have like a little rotating list of meals that I can go between now. And yeah, you can keep your recipe cards from the place. Keep your recipe cards from HelloFresh or whatever. In the website chat, they are talking about guitars still. I actually like Brussels sprouts, roasted or sauteed with bacon, chef's kiss. I am such a huge fan of roasted Brussels sprouts. They truly are delicious. They are yummy. It's not Brussels sprout season yet, which seems crazy because it's like there's broccoli and cauliflower. I have not seen Brussels sprouts at all. I think that maybe they're like a more of a later in the fall kind of thing. But shit, I mean, I think that the farmer's market only goes through like October, so we only have a few more weeks of stuff. So man, I wonder if they're just not well liked enough for anyone at the farmer's market I go to have them there. Man, only gonna... Well, I guess I'll grow my own next year. I'll just grow my own fucking Brussels sprouts. One pot meals can be the difference between eating and not when low on spoons. For me anyways. Truly, yeah. Yeah, no worry riffs, no leads. Another thing about cooking that I've been thinking about doing recently is like, I think that if there's any chopping that needs to happen, I should just do that in the like early afternoon. So that when it's time for me to make dinner, I don't have to do all that shit. And like, that also means that I would be able to clean up a lot of my mess before I even start cooking dinner, you know? I know, like, yes, a lot of the recipes that I have are designed to be like, do this while this other thing is happening, but I'm too slow at cooking to... I mean, maybe if I had just, like, different equipment, it would be different, but I'm just really slow at it, and chopping especially is something that I'm pretty slow at, and none of my knives are sharp. I hate the sound of sharpening knives. So I don't want to sharpen my knives. I keep trying to convince my partner. I'm like, I feel like sharpening the knives is like a man thing and that you should do it. Because I don't want to. And also you know how to do it. And also the sound doesn't seem to make you want to peel off your fingernails. So, yeah. The guitar fandom is strong. Truly, I mean, it's been centuries since we invented the guitar. It's like probably one of the most available instruments in the world right now, or like, I don't know. As far as like the per capita ratio of musical instruments to people, I feel like guitar has got to be pretty high up there. Maybe not globally, but at least in the US. Pre-prepping your prep work actually sounds like a great idea. Yeah. Just to streamline the evening. Because by the time it's evening, I'm fucking tired, you know? So I feel like I should just take advantage of the fact that I have energy in the afternoon. Exactly, Riffs No Leads. Dull knives suck, and so does sharpening them. Jesus, stop giving me your hardest battles. I know, I'm just a whittle baby. Please stop giving me your hardest battles. Okay, I had a notification. I wanted to make sure nothing important was going on. Guitar is easily the most purchased instrument on the planet. Very easy to learn compared to other instruments and quite plentiful. Yeah. I feel like only fresh Brussels sprouts are good, but that frozen ones are just terrible. Oh, is that a texture thing? Because I love buying frozen Brussels sprouts. Like, if anything, because the way that I like to cook Brussels sprouts is by putting them... So I buy usually frozen ones. I put them in on a pan with olive oil, salt, pepper, and then they go in the oven. And typically this is like I pan-fried chicken breast, and then the chicken breast is also going to go in there, and they're all going to like cook together for about 20 minutes. So because frozen has already been blanched, then I find that means that the entire Brussels sprout is like pretty soft and moist. But they do get a little crispy. Like I usually at the end of the process, I turn on the broiler on top and I put them under the broiler so they get a little bit of browning on them so that you don't just have like wet Brussels sprouts. But I have found when I've used fresh Brussels sprouts, if I didn't blanch them first, then they would, like the outermost layers would be like tough and like not a pleasant texture. Does that make any sense? So maybe I just, does that mean that when I buy Brussels sprouts, dude, if Brussels sprouts are only available at this time of the year, I probably do need to figure out how to, like, maybe I should buy a shit ton of Brussels sprouts and like blanch and freeze them to use throughout the year. Oh my God. I still have a shit ton of fruit. I think I told you guys that I volunteered to pick some fruit that was going to otherwise go to waste. And like we donated, I want to say it was like over the course of the couple of days that people were picking the fruit, it was like 15,000 pounds of fruit, which then gets donated. And then you, as a volunteer, you're allowed to take like a bucket home for yourself. And so I have, like an enormous amount of fruit that I'm trying to figure out. I need to buy a canning pot, I guess. Or a big fucking stock pot and just use that. I've been wanting a big fucking stock pot anyway. I was asking my partner too, like, what is the difference between a canning pot versus a regular stock pot? And he was like, there is no difference. I'm like, I know that there is also such a thing as a pressure canner, which has like a lid that seals and it's a pressure canner, right? Like I'm aware that exists. Because pressure canning is a different process. It's for like low acid foods. But yeah, so that's the dilemma that I'm trying to solve right now. And the question too is like, which one do I get? Do I buy a canning pot, which like I actually think is probably not meant to have food in it, only boiling water in it? So like, could I not use a canning pot to cook food in? Because obviously if I buy a cooking cooking stock pot, then I probably could just go ahead and use that for hot water bath canning because it's a fucking pot. I don't actually know though. And like, I want a Calphalon brand stock pot. Girl, it's going to be like $300. That's why I don't have one yet. The inside of the frozen ones are all mushy and they taste bitter. The inside of the fresh ones have layers of leaves and they have a better flavor. Brussels are some of my favorite veggies, but only fresh. Okay. I'll have to try it out. Like, if I can get some fresh Brussels sprouts soon, then I'll have to try it. My roommate cuts and freezes veggies all the time. Now I've got different bags of veggie types in the freezer: celery, onion, carrots. I feel like it's made cooking much easier. Totally, yeah. There is, like, when you freeze stuff, you are supposed to blanch it first. It makes it just, like, better for, I don't know, the quality of the food. With onions, you don't have to if you chop up onions and just stick them in the freezer. Like, I want a deep freeze really bad. I would save so much money and the convenience of it too. Because usually I do buy frozen vegetables at like Walmart or whatever. It's so fast, you know. I usually keep like a bag of giant frozen broccoli, and I use frozen broccoli for so much. But yeah, I'm not doing that right now. Maybe during the winter, I guess there won't be much of an option because I didn't like shore up my reserves now of like food for the winter. So I'm probably just going to go back to buying produce that way. And it is convenient. So I shall be thinking of this next year when the spring farmers market comes back. I'm going to be thinking like, okay, how do I get some stuff happening with like, you know, saving this food for later kind of things. We just don't have a ton of storage space. So it's like, where do I store all these cans of fruit, or where do I store all these frozen whatever? Like, my refrigerator is pretty small. I need all veggies pre-cut for life. It is literally the greatest demotivator anytime I want to cook. Ugh. They used to have a huge cauldron in taverns in medieval times. They would put whatever is going at the time in there and keep it ticking over so people could just come in, scoop out some, and eat. Yeah, wasn't it called like just like perpetual stew or something? And you have to keep it stirring, because if you don't keep it stirring, then the bottom gets hot, but the top gets tepid, and you'll have bacterial growth in the top of it. My grandma cans stuff all the time, such as potatoes, tomatoes, soups, sauces, etc. She uses her soup pot. She's got a regular pot, the same one, for over 10 years. Cool. Okay, so yeah. Basically, I do wonder, yeah. I was looking at Walmart and there was like a $30 canning pot. But I was like, $30 seems really cheap for a big metal pot. It feels like you've got carcinogens in there or something. Does that, you know what I mean? That makes sense? So long as it's kept above 140, you're in the clear. Yeah. I downloaded the USDA like how to can stuff document like right after the election earlier this year. I was like, before y'all start fucking things up and changing it, let me download the USDA PDF recommendation. And then I also have, you know what? I actually haven't checked what this says. I haven't read this. I have this giant fucking thing, the Encyclopedia of Country Living 50th year edition. This probably has something about canning in it. I bet. Food preservation. Dude, I can't. I can't. I didn't look through the index or anything. This just happened. Canning methods and supplies. I just was flipping through and I saw food preservation and I paused and I found exactly the correct page. That's wild. Yeah, this tells us the science of canning, about botulism. Yeah, okay. This is fun. So I'm going to learn plenty from that, I'm sure. Put that on the floor for now. Oh my god, my nose is itchy. Now y'all are talking about playing Recorder in the chat. I, too, played Recorder in elementary school, or whenever that was. I think elementary. Quite a long time ago. Naomi, brilliant, says, OMG, I remember having to play Recorder as a little kid, and sometimes I would play the one I was given really loudly and terribly on purpose, until I had all of them confiscated from me at home by my parents. Did they send you home with a recorder? It's crazy how I'm pretty sure it was like a classroom set of recorders that they would use for like different groups. Like, maybe they were like wiping them off in between, but that's crazy in retrospect. Pretty gross. I saw a video of Violet Affleck. She's Ben Affleck's daughter, talking about like how we've like abandoned this generation to like repeat COVID infections in schools and stuff. It was a very moving speech. But that's the kind of thing where it's like we used to just do crazy shit and did not care enough about the potential of spreading those germs. And schools, for some reason, are one of those areas where we just do not give a fuck about things that would be normal. I don't know. It's obnoxious. Finding what you're looking for with pure intention rather than too much effort. Witchcraft. True! It's all about vibes, you know? It's all about energy. I feel like I remember them like wiping off the mouthpieces of those recorders, but that's not the same as like sanitizing them. You could just buy really cheap ones and give a student each one. I don't know. That's my school cleaned the recorders between classes, but I still find it pretty yuck. I didn't even like them and I would fake play and stand in the back. That's hilarious. When is elementary? It's the equivalent of primary school. Yeah. And I guess you guys have like primary and secondary, so I don't know what ages. Does primary go all the way up to when you're like 13? Or like when does secondary start? So like elementary for us is basically ages 5 to like 10. And then we often have like junior high school or middle school, which is usually like 3 years between like age 10, 11 up to about 13. And then typically around age 14 or 15 is when we start like high school, which can be either 3 or 4 years. And then of course we do college and y'all do uni probably at the same age though, 18, 19. So yeah, I don't know when does primary school stop and then you get into secondary and then, or do you all typically graduate at 17 rather than 18? Because we typically graduate at 18. I wanted to play cello. God, I want a cello so badly. I didn't play cello. I played violin and then viola for a year, but I would love to play cello. They're not cheap though, and they also take up space that I do not have. Just imagining trying to put like where the fuck I'm gonna put a cello in my office. I would have a double bass stand up contrabass if they weren't so fucking expensive. Truly, they're oh man. The expense of a bass compared to a cello, too. That's wild. Glamour wants to shout out on behalf of ice in a beverage. Max Coolant with hydration buffer for the non-water lovers. Really helps me on my bus rides and errands in my water bottle. Yeah, I like having ice in my drink sometimes. I usually just refer to it, I say like a stand-up bass or a double bass. Hell yeah. They're so funky. They're funky little instruments. I just completely memory hold and just now remembered that I did date a guy who played an upright bass when I was like 14. Wow, I can't believe I forgot completely about that. And he played bass. How did I memory hold this completely? Wow. He played double bass and this kind of bass. This one. You can't see my hands. I'm doing this. This is why I went electric. I can get stand-up sounds with a knob twirl or be an obnoxious rocker at the same time. True. Yeah, bass seems fun. It's not for me personally. I really like the guitar and the fact that you can play your own melody and harmony at the same time. Like you can play your own accompaniment basically. Basically, the way that I like to play my guitar is like the finger style where like your hands kind of like assume a stationary position and then change to another stationary position for the most part, and then your hands over here, your right hand over here is like that bullshit. If you're familiar with that style of playing guitar. Gotta learn flamenco as well. La 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 lol. Secondary is from age 12 to 16. Are y'all just expected to be done with non-university school at age 16? Do you seriously all start university at 17? Like 16, 17? And then university is 4 years, right? So are you guys basically like done with all of your like school and uni by the time you're like 20 years old? I want to trade my guitar for a bass. You might be able to, if you can find one of a comparable. Or sometimes, like, you could trade the guitar in for store credit if there's not a bass that you like, and then hold on to the store credit for a bit until the right instrument comes to the store. Mab says, bringing things back to everyone's favorite instrument. It is a shame that recorders have been pushed onto kids as the main instrument for kids to learn music theory on. Recorders can sound really beautiful when played by a professional. Bach, I think it was Bach, wrote compositions for them. Right, yeah, like, if there is any instrument that's ever going to turn you off of playing musical instruments, it's going to be the recorder. Or, like, to turn music into more of, like, a game, a laughter kind of, like, not taking it seriously time. You know, playing recorders doesn't feel like it's really time to explore music. It is time to explore making noise, but that is not the same. I ultimately think, like, of course, yes, I was exposed to a recorder first, but I don't even remember whose idea it was. I think it might have just been my mom's idea. She was like, I think that you should play violin. And so, I do not remember having any kind of... Once I started playing it, it was very important to me that I continue playing. But when I was about 9 years old is when I started on violin. And by the time I was 11 years old, it was like a serious punishment to take that away from me. I took it very seriously if my mom was like, you're not allowed to take your violin to school. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of when my love relationship began with music. I play viola. Hell yeah. My partner actually has a violin that has been fitted with a C string. So technically speaking, I have the ability to functionally play a viola, but it's a full-size violin, so it feels like a tiny baby instrument after you've played viola. You're like... It's not really that bad, but it feels like a tiny baby instrument. And then, like, also, I do think that if you're going to put a fifth string... I don't actually know if the tension would be too much for a viola to put an E string on a viola, but because of the relative larger overall dimensions of the instrument, I do kind of feel like it would be easier to play the individual strings neatly if you had a viola that was outfitted with 5 strings, because if you have a fiddle that's outfitted with 5 strings, like, and that's part of the appeal, I guess, because my partner did used to play fiddle. Like his violin is set up to play fiddle music. So playing more than one string at the same time is desirable in that context, but if you're not specifically trying to play fiddle music, it's quite challenging. And then like it's difficult to transition between a 4-string versus a 5-string violin because the like angle at which you're having to tilt your bow hand is going to be different to hit the strings accurately. So anyway, I think a lot about music more than I would think, actually. What's a recorder? It's this thing. Have you seen one of these before? Recorder. They're horrible instruments. They're plastic a lot of the time. Or they're mass-made plastic. You can get a wood one that sounds good, but like it's really easy. If you blow too hard, it turns into a train whistle and it's really unpleasant. Ooh, that's cool. Riff says, I played a show with a band that was just a violin player who played using distortion and other effects to play black metal. It was at the very least interesting. Ooh, that's cool. That is fun. Yeah, Ember describes this as a recorder is similar to a penny whistle. It's a simple reed, pipe, and holes wind instrument. Yeah, it's a type of flute, but it's a flute that has a oh fuck, it has a thipple. So with a flute, a traditional flute, you have to create the embouchure by blowing across the mouthpiece in a specific way with your mouth. But with a recorder, you can just put your mouth on it and blow, and it has its own thipple. Which is basically like, it has it set to where like when you blow air into it, it's already blowing it across the thipple, which splits the air in the way that creates the noise. And then your fingers just change the notes, but you don't have to do anything special with your mouth in order to get the instrument to play in the way that you do with a flute. Whenever someone mentions the recorder, I hum a really bad out-of-tune rendition of Three Blind Mice. Memories from primary school. Fucking true! Hello, Kai. Welcome in. Just subscribed. I'm non-binary and lesbian and use they, them pronouns. Shout out. Welcome in. Thanks for hanging out with us. I appreciate y'all. This is a pretty good stream, even though I think that my organs are going to fall out later, and the cramping is kind of out of this world. I am glad that we hit the donation goal, and then we got an additional very generous donation. And then I get to go to do production later. It's going to be fun. My kids learned hot cross buns, which is identical to Three Blind Mice. True. Maybe because I was always into woodwinds and such, I was okay learning the recorder. Mainly, I was waiting to be allowed to play flute the next year. Yeah, and I'm not saying that I'm opposed, like that I remember it negatively, playing the recorder. It just was loud, and other people were very disruptive, excuse me. And also, I think it's gross in retrospect that I was given, like, an instrument that other kids had played. Yeah. And like, to be clear also, yeah, like I played, violin was kind of my first love with music, but very shortly after that, my mom also bought me an ocarina from the Renaissance Festival, and then I ended up working for that guy, basically just sitting there next to him playing my instrument as like a, look, even this kid can do it kind of thing. So yeah, I met my husband through the ocarina booth as well. So music and woodwinds and the love of such is a big deal in my life. I feel like I should get out my ocarina and practice it more. just need to like set things up in such a way that I can access my hobbies more easily. It's such a pain when you have to like unpack your hobby and then pack it back up after you're done. Some people would screech the recorder in your face/ear. I think my school gave us new ones. I hope they were new anyway. Yeah. Hey, Jessica got a promotion. That's good news. Glad to hear it. Congratulations. I also, I guess I kind of got like a promotion. I'm like still doing my host stuff on Takis, probably just as often as usual. But then I'm also doing production with the line, so that's great. My hobbies are buried under other hobbies. Yeah. And like I don't have a table. We have like a table that we have to like I don't want the table to be up all the time in the living room. Like we have a table that's up right now. A few weeks ago my husband and I were painting miniatures, and I was like, "Yeah, let's go put everything away though." And he was like, "Well, we might like, well, we might do this again before the weekend is over, or maybe Monday night I'll want to come back and do it." Guess what, guys? It's been like 2 or 3 weeks now and the fucking table still has a bunch of miniatures all over it. And we haven't done anything with them for weeks. I'm about to have to be strict in this way where I'm like, no, put your toys away. Let's get the table put away. I don't want this fucking table in here. If there's a table in here, I'm going to end up throwing stuff on the table as I walk past, and like, then it's going to get even more cluttered. So I don't like this. We just don't have enough space. We have too much stuff we want to do. We don't have a garage. That would make a big difference if we had like a full size outdoor-ish space. Give up, the table lives there now. No, it can't. We can't do VR in the living room because the table is there. Like, certainly I can't fucking exercise on the floor in there. And then like there's also like a bunch of boxes because I've been recently sent a bunch of computer shit and accessories to get my production stuff working at the line. And so also like I have boxes that I need to get rid of. There's just not enough space in here. I used to play a steel tongue drum. Ooh, I think my partner got one of those at the Renaissance Festival this summer. Nice little tongue drum. They're cute. I like them. I have the black ring of death in the toilet. Welp, time to clean it while my sister isn't here. I don't know why. This is the first place I've ever lived that has the black ring of death in the toilet. And so I actually decided to go ahead and get, my partner suggested, and I was like, okay, that's a good idea. I got some of those like blue borax tablets that you just dump in, you just throw it in the back of the toilet. And so now I have blue toilet water, which is kind of fun. And I'm hoping that that helps it not get gross again. Like after my partner just cleaned it. Oh no. I don't know what we're talking about in the chat anymore. It's officially gotten away from me. Jom Gervo.
Jom_Gervo has donated $5. Checking in the lake to wish everyone well. Have safe. Be fun.
Thank you very much. I am always trying to have safe. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's quite kind of you. I have never been in a place where it gets gross like it does here. Yeah, I've definitely had a toilet that had black stuff growing on it, but it was like a different kind of black stuff, and it was like more on the toilet seat itself, which was weird. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I'm hoping, like I said, that the borax just like sanitizes it. Only money, only money. Are we? Is that like no stream, only money? I do feel that way sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, no stream, only money. So sad. But then I come here and I'm here anyway. Consistency. You gotta show up to work even when you don't feel like it. You just want your toilet water to be blue. Blue toilet. I think that they actually gave JB Pritzker. I think that he is officially on Blue Sky now. Like they're officially like posting from Blue Sky from JB Pritzker. And they gave him a Substack. I don't know if it's for any unique statements or if they're basically just taking any of his formal statement press releases in the same way that like Governor Tina Kotek posts like the short version of like maybe a little statement regarding, I don't know, if she signs something, then she's like, here's a statement regarding that, even if it's not like what would be the equivalent of like a full essay. But like if Pritzker gives like a full talk, or like a full press release, I wonder if they're just kind of posting the text to his Substack. Wow, there's an air show happening nearby. Scared the ever-living shit out of me. Flyby went right over my apartment. That's obnoxious. I do feel like that's one of the ways that's nice to like know what's going on in your community so you can be prepared for shit like that. But even then, no matter how informed you try to be, there's always something that you're gonna miss out on. So like, yeah, do I follow anything that would indicate to me on Instagram, for example, that I would oh my god, the cramps just hit me in the worst time. Like, would I know about an air show before it happened if there was one here? I don't actually think I would. Maybe one of the more generic accounts that I follow. I don't have very many of those. I have a lot of very specific accounts that I follow, like this one small business or whatever. Oh my god, dude. I'm kind of scared if Trump dies, not gonna lie. I don't want baby Vance to take over. Here's my thing about Vance. I think that Vance is an embarrassment to the Republican Party. I think it would be pretty demoralizing to them if he became president because something happens to Trump, like hypothetically. So I'm not that worried about it, I guess. Like I don't know. Can you imagine how demoralizing it would be if your president was Mr. Couchfucker, like, and that's supposed to be the guy that you support? Like that's supposed to be your guy and he's fucking JD Couchfucker Vance. Like I just don't think that he's got the cult of personality behind him to carry the torch, as it were, if that makes any sense. Maybe I'm just talking out my ass, but I personally do think, I mean, if something happens to Trump, and like, I'm not saying if he gets assassinated necessarily, just like, he's old. Let's say he has a stroke and he dies, okay? Unfortunate, sad, you know, QQ. A horrible day for our country, etc. But like, Vance stepping into that place, I just don't see it being that threatening. I think it would just be like really embarrassing. And if it happens, I'm going to make sure it's embarrassing because I'm not going to ever shut up about it. I'm going to say, hey, it's President Couchfucker. I'm going to make sure it's as embarrassing as fucking possible for them. You know what I mean? Like, that literally, yeah, Vance doesn't have the riz to head the cult of personality. What's wrong with fucking couches? Typically, I guess nothing, as long as you don't talk about it in public. Like, I don't know. And like, it's different if you're running for public office, right? Like, if you're running for public office and people think of you as a couch fucker, like, it just takes away your legitimacy as a person who was supposed to be a strong man, you know? Well, sure, yeah. If other people use that couch, it would be a problem. Sure, that's fair. Good point. Fucking couches are great. Fucking them is another thing. True. We think the cult would eat nails to annoy the libs, though. Maybe. We'll have to find out, won't we? Yeah, are they going to start posting? Are they, like, going to respond to us trying to ridicule him by posting, like, pictures of couches in compromising situations? Like, I don't know. I knew this stream would make me laugh in no time. Thanks, I needed it. Yeah, totally. I'm glad I'm able to help with that. One time, one of my friends told me that they were like, I need people to know that I'm funny more than I need them to know that I'm smart. And I do think that this is a person who needs people to know that they're smart. So I was like, yeah, that's relatable. I think I might agree with that. Like, I think I need people to know that I'm funny more than I need them to know that I'm smart. Darth says, couches are great dildo holders. Yeah, I guess if you don't have... if you are not currently in possession of one with a suction cup on it, that would make sense. Just hold the dildo there for you, so long as nobody else is using the couch. Glamour Claw says, Trump is a brand. Without the poster boy for the brand carriers lose a lot of gusto. That would make sense. They'll pivot to showing Biden sitting on couches to deflect. The right will just blame the couches. True. Bro, do you think we can get to 100 likes today? We have 89 right now. I think it would be exciting if we did. No suction cup, sadly. Yeah, I've tried all kinds of stuff when I didn't have a suction cup. Naomi says, I used to be insecure about whether I was dumb/smart or not, and at 32, I don't give a fuck anymore. Yeah. Unfortunately, I guess I was saying it's unfortunate because it has given me a little bit of a superiority complex, but there's never been any question to me about whether I'm smarter than the average person. The Bible Belt searches for trans porn more than anyone. I bet we could sell them sexy couches. True. Start a new thing of like the trans girl fucking a couch porn instead of like the... Well, not instead of, but maybe just like more year round to the trans girls fucking pumpkins thing that is still a thing every year. Couch rights getting revoked in red states. True. You're like, dang, that thing juicy. And it's just like a couch that's like a really plush couch. Cringe. Glamour Claw says RFK would start eating nails because it's the main source of iron. Yeah, we need to get more iron in our diets. Pregnant women should eat nails for their anemia. What's up, Radio Parlesque? Good morning indeed. Good morning. Where are you if it's good morning? Australia? 7 hours ago tomorrow? Never mind, it's fucking noon. Oh gosh. I know that feel. It does happen sometimes. Wait, that's confusing though, because if it's noon, I'm on the West Coast. Are you in Alaska? No, are you in Hawaii? Wait, because Hawaii is like 4 hours ago from Kansas. Are you 2 hours ago from me right now? You're in Hawaii? couple of days ago, I saw a meme where a girl changed her online chat name to Pumpkins. That's fucking hilarious. It is 6:41 a.m. Monday morning in Melbourne. Okay, yeah, I did know that. I did know that. But I was like, where is radio from? Thick, horny couches in your area and ready to fuck. Picture of a plush velvet couch. Exactly, you're picking it up. Who is talking to me? Is it work? Is it important? No. It's just photo collage of my picture. Oh my god, dude. Yesterday morning, I just wasn't feeling like getting out of bed. Or maybe it was earlier in the week. I actually can't remember. But the cat, like... Oh, no, it was Friday. The cat got up on the bed and then, like, got all the way... Like, he was partially on my shoulder with his face, like, right here. And he was licking my head. And I was like, this is pretty cute. Is there anything fun? Anything fun going on right now? Glamour Claw says, if you put a barefoot trans girl on a couch doing absolutely nothing, someone will buy those photos like NFTs. True. Is Patreon or YouTube memberships better to support you? I would say probably Patreon. Patreon, I think, takes less of a cut in the payment processing. And for you as a member, there's probably more for you on Patreon. I remember to post on Patreon more than I remember to post on YouTube memberships. So I would say for what you're getting out of it and for what is on offer, probably Patreon is the better way to go. That's my suggestion. I mean, recently I posted a video like a full week early on Patreon because I had like the rough cut version of it ready. Obviously like the finalized version, but the main difference was like a little bit more of like editing out phrases and stuff, like extra words, and then like the pictures that were referring to the movie. But that was pretty much it. Like everybody else, it's just you just saw it like a week early on Patreon. Patreon takes a lot less money than YouTube. Yeah, and I'm grandfathered into like whatever the original plan was, I think. Or maybe did I screw that up by recently I added the pay at the same time of month that you signed up thing instead of the like everybody pays at the beginning of the month thing. I don't know. It's kind of obnoxious, TBH. What's up, Jess from Canada? Who's screening tonight? That is a question that I have. I know it doesn't really matter that much, but I'm just curious now. What is today? Stephanie. Looks like Stephanie is screening for us tonight. Come back, chat. I need you. Yami says, hello, trans, non-binary, and queer siblings. How are y'all? We're doing pretty okay. I mean, I have period cramps today for no fucking reason. I'm like on birth control and not supposed to be able to get periods. And I haven't had one in forever. But, so yeah, I went to bed last night with cramps and then I woke up today with cramps and I still have cramps. So that's what life is like for me today. Yay, I'm so excited. I'm so happy. 95 likes? Really? Oh, we're only 5 likes away. I would like to get to 100 likes. That would be fun. We don't have to, though. I want to at least get to... If we can get 5 more likes before I quit today, that would be great. I'm not gonna be mad if I have to leave before we get to the 100 likes, though, because I'm a sleepy boy and I have to fucking work my second job later. Yay. I like that Just Chatting Trans stream is getting a decent amount of traction, you know? And I'm sitting here like, too tired to be cute, and y'all still show up for me. I didn't even have to put on makeup today. I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, okay. Nice. I do think it's a bummer that I let my brother keep all of my Pokemon cards, which he probably doesn't even have anymore. June Bramley, I'm doing my part. Good. I'm stuck in bed with a cold. No! Betadine nasal spray can help you. We're at 98 likes. Hell yeah. The world is a mess. And I just need to rule it. Made that reference on Takis the other day. And someone was like, hey, I see you with your Dr. Horrible reference. And I was like, hey, you know. There we go. Now we're at 100 likes. That's wonderful. We've still got 56 viewers. I am so glad to have all you here today. It is a little bit awkward when we still have so many people in here, and I'm like, I kind of want to leave, though. Because I feel like it's wasteful, you know? Like, y'all are hanging out. We're enjoying it. Like, the stream often doesn't have this many viewers, so, you know, I feel like we need to keep things rolling. But also, I am getting very, very sleepy. Let's drink some more water. Looking forward to warmer weather and having more sunlight. It's been such a sad, slow, miserable winter down under. Yeah, that's rough. I know. I'm actually weirdly looking forward to winter. I've never looked forward to winter before in my life. But now I'm like, because winter here is the rainy season. And like it gets cold, but like not that cold. Compared to me being at home, like I have a bunch of furs, like for real legitimate animal furs that I was accumulating because I want if I'm gonna need to be warm, I want it to be aesthetic, okay? I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to wear furs here during the winter. Like I don't know if it is ever gonna be cold enough for me to wear furs and not be like overheating. So, you know, I guess I'll have to really, really dig for those opportunities to wear my badger during the winter. I never got into Pokemon. I was into Magic the Gathering, but that was also 20 years ago. Ooh, yeah. My partner did get me a little bit into Magic the Gathering. And my younger sibling brought it up recently, so I was like, oh, maybe we should play a little bit of Magic the Gathering sometime, just because we haven't for a while. We have some decks that are all about the same pre-built kind of things. Excuse me. It's a wet cold here, seeps into the bones. Well, maybe I do need to wear my furs then, because the furs kind of help a little bit, or they can help a little bit with the getting the cold off of you thing. I'm sitting here like I want a bicycle, and I realize that we're about to enter the rainy season, so I'm like, well, I better fucking have fenders on that bitch. Or should I wait to get a bicycle until springtime when it's going to be a little bit more manageable? Probably realistically, I should wait to get a bicycle just because I don't have $500. I mean, I have a credit card, but like I shouldn't spend $500 on a bicycle right now. I just really want one. Like, there's just something so irreplaceable. I'm coming back down here again. There's just something so irreplaceable about like being on a bicycle, you know, like it's a very unique form of exercise, I feel, where you know you're very much stuck in your thing, and like because you're not just bicycling, you also have to pay attention to like the cars around you or like where you're at on the road, or make sure you don't hit a bump and fly over the fucking handlebars. But it's also like such a unique feeling, even compared to like riding the moped, which I did used to do sometimes, but like even compared to that like the bicycle is just like, it feels so free, you know, it's just such a, it's exhilarating, and like the wind on you, and the exertion of it all, and like the fact that you can't really have your phone out. Although I was thinking, like, do they probably do have like a little phone thing that they could mount, that you could mount on your handlebars so that you can use your GPS if you ever need to on the bicycle. Yeah, I don't know. But it is just interesting that I feel so strongly about it in retrospect. When like I recently tried out riding a bike, I went to the bike store and I was like, let's test drive a couple of them. And I haven't ridden a bike in probably genuinely actually like 15 or more years. I can't remember the last time. Like I said, my grandma bought me a bike when I was about 19, but I don't think I ever used it. Like I can't remember ever actually riding it. So it's entirely possible that I have not ridden a bike since I had one when I was like, I want to say 11 or 12. Like, I think I remember having a bike stolen. Man, like, did I even have a bike after age 10? It genuinely might have been more than 20 years since I last rode a bike. But yeah, it comes back to you. And I'm going to go back and be like, hey, I want to ride like 3 bikes, and I want you to tell me what to pay attention to when I'm riding it. Like, I want you to tell me what I should be paying attention to, what differences. Because, of course, it was my first time on a bike in 20 years. I was mostly just like, oh, do I remember how to do this? Am I going to not? I don't want to fall over and like fuck up this bike or like somebody's car. Where's my live streaming thing? Why have you gone? Yeah, sorry I'm down here. My cramps came back, so I had to come be down here for a minute. I was picking up my bedroom and I thought I can put these gloves away, and then I realized no, I'll need them in like a month. Yeah, my younger sibling is like, riding the bus, and it's like hella early in the morning, and it is so much colder in the morning here than it is in the afternoon. And I was like, you probably need to think about like, let's get you some new shoes that are going to be water resistant so that you can be walking around. I was like, what are some things that you think you would need? And they were like gloves, because my hands were so cold. I'm like, okay, cool. So we had to go out and bust out some gloves. It's fucking September and it's already time for gloves. Yeah, I shrank. Yeah, I know. I worry about the young trans people too. It's tough. I have no butt. Riding a bike really hurts my behind. You can get a custom seat. That's the cool thing about bikes too, is like, even if you do just like, oh, you find like a bike for like $100 on Facebook Marketplace, then you can still like, even if it doesn't have the right style handlebars, like just fucking buy the right set of handlebars, so long as you fit the bike. You can get a new seat. You can even replace the whole derailleur system. Like anything on the bike, you can just switch it out. Obviously, like, except for the frame, like you can't really change a lot about the frame if it's the wrong size or the wrong style for you. RB has arrived. What's up? Did I say that I broke my leg skating? Let me be the first to say that shit does not come back to you well, at least not to me anyway. Oh man, that's crazy. I hope that you're okay. I second the longing for a wintry, rainy season. Can't wait to see my breath on an overcast morning. Truly, I missed most of the winter here. Well, I mean, we moved here in like late January, so we got to see like the tail end of winter, and then, but we, all through November and December and most of January, like I haven't seen any of that. So I'm assuming that it's going to be preferable to what I was experiencing in Kansas. That was part of the point of moving here, was so that the winters and the summers would both be less shitty. Ooh, I'm getting some bicycle advice in the chat. I'm in Pennsylvania, biking year-round. Fenders, rain overpants, and headband or helmet liner are a must. Head, rear lights, fenders, chain guard, back rack with bags, phone mount, extra sealant if tubeless tires or extra tubes, bike repair multi-tool, air pump, and some research on sizes and helmet. Yeah. The guy I was talking to at the store was like, there's some stuff like you just should just keep this tool, this bike tool, like on your bag, like whenever you're on your bike. There's certain things that you should just have with you every time. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna go back to that same store and I'll ride like 3 different bikes and I'll be like, tell me what I should be paying attention to. And then I'll probably be like, okay, I'll sleep on it and I'll leave for a couple weeks. And when I finally decide I'm ready to pick one, I'll come back and I'll be like, okay, so I'm ready and I want to do this right. So what stuff do I need? Let's try not to get a bike that I feel like I need to replace the seat and the handlebars on immediately, so we don't increase the cost there. But like, yeah, what should I have with me? What should I have in my backpack? Obviously, and there are things that are like, it is necessary for you to have a tail light on if you are biking after dark. And of course, you would be buying after dark. Not buying. You would be riding after dark a lot in the winter because it's about to be sunset at like 4 p.m. Why is it so green? Online, it's not green when I see you debate there. Is that a filter? Well, first of all, I change the color sometimes if I'm in a different mood. But even then, like, you're only seeing this much of me on the line. Whoop, hold on. You're only seeing like this much of me on the line. So even if the background is green, like it is right back here, it would be less noticeable. So it's really when you're seeing the extreme edges that you can tell. But sometimes I'll be like, yellow. Sometimes. But a lot of the times I like green. Green. Those are the vibes. Skateboarding is way more difficult and dangerous than riding a bike just to get around somewhere. Oh, fucking true. Yeah. I do think, and yeah, the bike is just stable in a way that the... If for no other reason than your center of gravity is lower on the bike because you're fucking sitting down and it's like distributed a little bit across the entirety of the bike as opposed to like a really like truncated, you know, it's your weight distributed across the whole bike and both tires versus the weight being distributed across this like short space and you're really tall. Like, yeah, of course it's unstable. Yeah, I guess I might have to try to get some winter tires too. I'm gonna try just to drive slow and safely during the winter. I did like the two-tone effect of the contrasting lights. It's just so disproportionate because of the way that this is set up that like this light is very close to this wall. So it's just much more concentrated and it doesn't spill out very far. Like this area right here is kind of where the green from that light ends. And this one is like the entire wall. So it's just like, I do like it sometimes having 2 different colors. I did it for my Saw the TV Glow video, you know? I was like, what did we do? We had pink on one side. Something like this. Pink and green. But, yeah. I don't know. It's just, yeah, like I said, it's not proportional so often. I just do them the same color to keep things cohesive back there. Marsh says, I wish our government wasn't so focused on war. I wish they developed better train and transit systems instead of making freeways for tanks. I swear road rage is on the rise. People are crazy out here. I do actually think you're correct. I'm pretty sure that statistically, incidences of road rage and therefore car accidents are on the rise since COVID started. And that would make sense to me because COVID gives people brain damage that includes emotional dysregulation. Pink and green giving poison ivy vibes. Okay, that's interesting. Now we're talking about childhood injuries from skateboarding and riding bikes. Yeah. One time my partner was riding his bike and I think he was like, I think he was riding with no hands or something like that. Or maybe he was even standing on the bike because, little boys do dumb shit like that. He might have been standing on the bike and like, the bike inevitably gets tripped up on something and then he flipped over and like, I think bit through his lip and like has a fake tooth in the front now. Yeah. Like, shout out if you were a child who liked to play outside but didn't do dumb shit. I guess I did trip. One time I was trying to walk on, I was trying to basically like, walk the tightrope on, it was like in my grandma's garden, the pathway to the front door, the sidewalk pathway to the front door, there were a couple of like pieces of wood along the side that are like, they're like flat on the top and bottom and then they're like rounded on the sides. So they kind of have that like shape. And I was walking along the top of it and I like fell and then I busted my lip. And for a long time, I had a big blood blister. For a long time, one of my gums was higher than the other one because I had like damaged it. It was crazy. I liked to play outside and would get dragged into dumb shit by my brother. Oh yeah, that's always fun. Well, guys, I know it's a little bit short, but we did the 3 hours today. I'm going to go ahead and call it a little bit early. Thank you so much for all hanging out and for hitting the like button and your commentary in the chat and everything. I've enjoyed it. Sorry if I've been less entertaining than usual because of my cramps. But yeah, you can plan to see me on Wednesday. I'm planning to be here on Wednesday. And then I may or may not be on Takis on Thursday. So that's my plan for the week. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Appreciate y'all. I hope that the audio was at the appropriate level this time. I tried to fix it. I'm gonna have to fix it every single time, but it's an easy fix, so there we go. All right. Bye.